I've been telling y'all this UFO, UAP stuff was a psyop, but now I'm about to give you proof right now.
Anyway, this is by far the most interesting video. It looks like a star-shaped shadow that is floating around, leaving some type of trail. It's moving in a zigzag pattern without really any other context. Then it's a UAP report in 2013. Here's another video of a little UAP flying through turbines in 2024. This is also from the Middle East, and it seems like a lot of these videos are from the Middle East. A lot of the videos are just tiny little floating objects, and the only context is their UAPs and the location that it was taken. There's also a lot of photos on the website. This is the most interesting one, but it's a sketch. It's an FBI lab rendered overlay from 2023 of a bronze metallic object materializing out of a bright light in the sky 100 to 200 feet in length and disappearing instantaneously.
The most interesting photo is a sketch. Let that sink in too. The next interesting photo turned out to be a flare with a parachute. We ain't gonna sugarcoat this. We coming right in, let you know what it is, what's going on. The main photos that are going viral are turning out to be either sketches or just flat out fake. Today, I'm going to show you how easy it is to fake a UAP video. I can fake one right now myself. It don't take the best camera trickery. And we're going to show you that today.
I feel like there's more information about aliens and UFOs in one single episode of Star Trek than what they released in these files, not to mention the fact that half of this stuff has already been debunked. Take a look at this.
Well, it turns out the star-shaped UFO that some members of Congress think is an angel is actually just a flare with a parachute attached to it. And in the video the Pentagon released, you can literally see the parachute. Take a look. There it is very clearly on the left-hand side of the screen. Attached to the parachute is a flare leaving a trail of smoke. This is not an angel or a demon. Here's a very simple picture explaining how it works. The flare is dropped from an airplane, the parachute deploys, and the flare ignites. The Pentagon released several other videos showing obvious parachutes with flares attached to them, claiming they're UAPs. The Pentagon also released this picture of an actual space alien, 100% real. Here's another image of it, and as you can tell, this is clearly a space alien. There's no other explanation. Except it's actually a 1950 hoax photo published by a German magazine as an April Fool's joke. And it's on the official Department of Defense government.
Y'all see that? So all of these UAP photos that's surfacing, damn near all of them, if you do your research, you will find out that they are fake. It's fake. Now listen. The government is the main ones that's censoring fake news. Let that sink in. The government censors fake news, but the government is the main one spreading fake news. If fake news come from a regular nobody, it don't hurt nobody. But if fake news come from the government, it hurt everybody. So why is the government censoring small little people for fake news while spreading very dangerous fake news itself? What is the world going into when the government is sharing fake news? I'm talking about photos with flares, with parachutes on it, old April Fool's jokes photos. April Fool's jokes photos? You got to ask yourself, do the government know better? And now no one can come along and say, well, man, the government messed up. Everybody make mistakes. The government can't make these kind of mistakes. They're responsible for protecting the security of Americans. They got to protect our infrastructure from hackers, the banking, and the digital network. It's so much high-tech security procedures and infrastructure at play, and they're keeping us safe. And if your government can't tell the difference between a fake photo and a fake video in a world where we got authenticators. Listen, the government don't gotta fall for no BS. You know why? You got websites that you can put the photo in, and the photo would tell you, oh, that's fake. AI know what it generated and what it didn't. The government shouldn't be falling for the same stuff is punishing other people for falling for. It should be more intelligent than a regular citizen if it's going to protect a regular citizen. Now, I expect regular Joe Blow to share fake information, but can't nobody give the government the same pass they would give a regular person, because a regular person don't got the Secret Service. A regular person don't got the best hackers working for them. The best photo manipulators work for the government. The experts work for the government. It is impossible for the government to share fake stuff and not know about it. So the question we gotta ask, why is the government sharing fake stuff and it knows the stuff fake? It's only one answer for that. It's a psychological operation. There's an agenda here for why the government all of a sudden want to push the UAP narrative, the UFO narrative. And we need to be questioning that instead of falling for the surface agenda like sheeple.
In the sky 100 to 200 feet in length and disappearing instantaneously.
I feel like there's more information about aliens and UFOs in one single episode of Star Trek than what they released in these files, not to mention the fact that half of this stuff has already been debunked. Take a look at this.
Well, it turns out the star-shaped UFO that some members of Congress think is an angel is actually just a flare with a parachute attached to it. And in the video the Pentagon released, you can literally see the parachute. Take a look. There it is, very clearly on the left-hand side of the screen. Attached to the parachute is a flare leaving a trail of smoke. This is not an angel or a demon. Here's a very simple picture explaining how it works. The flare is dropped from an airplane, the parachute deploys.
I'm gonna blow this up for y'all because I can blow this up for y'all and make it bigger. Let me do that. I want y'all to see what he's showing in this video, and that's the thing about the vertical videos. The verticals don't allow you to show a lot, but I know a little trick though. We're gonna duplicate this, right? Gonna duplicate it like this. And then we're gonna make it big like this. Oh, hold up. We don't want to move that one. We just want to move this one. So I done blew this up for y'all, but keep in mind, the bigger it get, the blurrier it get. So it's a trade-off, but I think this is better. Now let's watch it.
And disappearing instantaneously.
I feel like there's more information about aliens and UFOs in one single episode of Star Trek than what they released in these files, not to mention the fact that half of this stuff has already been debunked. Take a look at this.
Well, it turns out the star-shaped UFO that some members of Congress think is an angel is actually just a flare with a parachute attached to it. And in the video the Pentagon released, you can literally see the parachute. Take a look. There it is, very clearly on the left-hand side of the screen. Attached to the parachute is a flare leaving...
Hold up. I think I cropped too much. Yeah. Okay, let's do it like this. Y'all need to see what he's showing on the video here, because this is a nail in the coffin. Now, why citizens ain't protesting about this? You don't think that citizens ought to be up in arms about our government fooling us with fake shit? Come on now. And to say that we shouldn't be is so hypocritical, because look at how many Americans was up in arms because YouTubers are sharing fake news. So when the government was mad at content creators of sharing misinformation and fake news, everybody was like, yeah, let's censor them. So what should happen to the government when it shares fake news? No one's above the law. The government should be censored. Citizens ought to be saying right now, listen, government, we don't want to hear y'all say a goddamn thing about UAPs and UFOs no more if you sharing these same photos, because these photos are proven fake. You got to stop this narrative immediately. It is misinformation. Why won't we do to the government what they doing to you? What makes the government above the law? Ain't no one above the law. This ain't a dictatorship. How come Sanchez gets censored for sharing fake news, but the government can and no one cares? But everyone pissed off if a regular person does it. He's sharing fake news. I'm gonna block your video. I'm gonna snitch on YouTube. This is fake news. And the government does it. And nobody cares. And the government, when it does it, there's a bigger implementations. There's a bigger problem when the government does it than regular people. Like, this is crazy. This is a problem, y'all. This should be spread around. Like, this should be shared.
Can literally see the parachute. Take a look. There it is very clearly on the left-hand side of the screen. Attached to the parachute is a flare leaving a trail of smoke. This is not an angel or a demon. Here's a very simple picture explaining how it works. The flare is dropped from an airplane, the parachute deploys, and the flare ignites.
Now, if they're dropping flares out of airplanes with parachutes on it, what make you think they ain't dropping the Artemis spacecraft out? If the government is out here faking UFOs by dropping items out the back of airplanes with parachutes, why they can't just fake space and drop the capsule out the same airplane with the parachutes on it? Say we went to space. So when a person put that photo out, they was laughed at. They say, you think they dropped it out of an airplane? Yeah, if a person would have said, yo, I think that's some kind of flare or device with a parachute on it, it ain't a real alien, it was probably dropped out of an airplane, they would be laughed at. You think they gonna fake it? Who gonna fake all that? You telling me that ain't a real UAP? People want to believe the bullshit. No one wanna do what we naturally should do, which is question things that are presented to you. That's why you have a mind. You don't supposed to just allow shit into your mind without your defense barrier, scrutinizing it. And when we do that, we become gullible sheep. Let's watch the video.
The Pentagon released several other videos showing obvious parachutes with flares attached to them, claiming they're UAPs. The Pentagon also released this picture of an actual space alien, 100% real.
People, y'all need to look at this photo and tell me we ain't in trouble, man. Look at this shit. It's a pencil drawing. People, it's not even a real photo. It's a conception, a depiction, a drawing. We got the government releasing artist illustrations now. This is like a fairy tale book. They're writing a new Bible. I'm telling y'all, they rolling this out like a cult, like a religion. Because what is a religion? It is a belief system. And if you got a bunch of people believing in shit that we can't conclusively verify, you ain't really forming a following based upon facts. You're following it based upon a conspiracy theory. That's what you're doing. You're gathering a bunch of people who believe in a conspiracy theory. And the hypocritical thing about that, a lot of those people will tell you flat earth is the conspiracy, or that's the conspiracy, or this other thing is conspiracy theory groups. What we're finding out is that the people in power are basically being control opposition for the conspiracy movement. And they're letting us know what conspiracy theories are safe. All of these other conspiracy theories, we're going to laugh at them. But if you believe in little green men coming to Earth in little ships, okay, that's okay, right? That's the safe one the government giving you. See what I'm saying? So check this out, y'all. This image right here, it was drawn in the 80s or 70s by a person doing an April Fool's joke. And the government literally has this on file as proof of aliens. Now listen, what's crazy about this one, it ain't a UFO ship. It's a literal alien being raising his arms up. The government has this shit on file, y'all. Let that sink in.
showing obvious parachutes with flares attached to them, claiming they're UAPs. The Pentagon also released this picture of an actual space alien, 100% real. Here's another image of it, and as you can tell, this is clearly a space alien.
Now, guess what, people? And what's so sad is we live in an age of AI, and I see these kind of black and white photos on Facebook all the time. And you know what? It is so many groups out there that have millions of members and they got big followings, and all of the photos are AI generated. We are already living in the mind fuck, in the AI takeover. People think we're waiting to get to a world where AI is controlling our reality and we don't know what's real from fake. Guess what, folks? We already there. We've been there. It's groups out there with millions of members in them, and they all believing in nothing but AI photos. I'm going to tell you what's so sad about this age that we in. You can literally put any photo into an AI authenticator and tell if it's fake or not. People don't want to know the truth, y'all, because it's free. You don't got to pay no money for that. If a person want to believe in something, they will use an AI generated photo to support their belief. And if you tell them, look, the photo is fake, we already put it in the website. You think they're going to tell us the truth? Of course they're going to say this photo fake. Dude, we got the technology today. Think about this, y'all. We live in a world with the technology we got where it's hard to tell what's real from fake, which is why we developed software in this time to help us out. We have authentication software that's used by corporations. It's used by the government. Why wouldn't a regular person use that? In a world where a lot of photos can be computer generated, why wouldn't you want to know if the photo you believe in fake or not? People don't want the truth. They just want something to support their belief. And AI does that for them. Now, if you share a photo that debunks their belief and tell them, look, I put this photo in the website, it said the photo was fake. See, that junk fakes. But if you share one that, if you show them the photo they believe in is fake from the website, well, of course they're going to say that, you know. They're going to put it in there that this one is fake, even though it's real. But I can make you a fake black and white image right now of an alien in the old world. And people will think it's real because it's black and white. But you can do this with AI. You can make old style photos with AI. Let me give a big shout out to Von Hall for the donation. Thank you, Von Hall, for the support, for the love. And shout out to Caramel. Caramel Thunder, what's up? Thank you for the donation. Appreciate y'all. But you can make these. You can go to an AI website and you can put in a random black and white photo. And then you can put in a photo of a little alien or not. But you can put the black and white photo on and you can tell it, look, put an alien in this photo. You can tell it, look, put me a dude in this photo driving a Ferrari, but make it look like it's still in the 60s. And guess what? You can upload that photo on Facebook and you can put, hey guys, I found a rare photo that proves time travel is real. People doing that. People taking black and white photos, they putting it in the AI site, and they putting objects in there that don't supposed to be there for that time, and they putting it on their website trying to prove time travel. But guess what's crazy? You don't gotta lie to prove time travel because deja vu proves it. It's literally legit ways we can prove time travel, but people, it's the quickest way to convince a person is with fake photos. We're in a dangerous time, y'all. And we think we're waiting on this so-called time where it's gonna be hard to tell what's real from fake, but we're in it knee deep. It's entire communities out there formed behind fake photos, and the government know the power of this kind of programming, which is why they're putting out fake photos. And what's so lazy about the government, they ain't even making their own fake photos. They putting out fake shit that's already floating around in the community. So think about that. Instead of the government saying, okay, there goes some more fake news and misinformation, let's go censor that. The government is saying, hey, there goes some fake news and misinformation, but it serves our agenda. Let's go take that same information and that's why it's a lot of people, they are leaking these UAP videos before the government. Because the government, they got y'all thinking, well, one of our military fighters filmed this shit. And a lot of this shit is amateur photos and videos from offline, y'all. This is so crazy. The government is taking the same misinformation and files from the internet and logging them into their database like we discovered UAPs and we're keeping it classified, when these motherfuckers is online like us, sharing the same misinformation everybody else sharing. People, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. You got folks right now that's like, hold up, this photo from such and such channel, how the Pentagon saying is their photo. That's crazy, man.
There's no other explanation, except it's actually the parachute deploys and the flare ignites. The Pentagon released several other videos showing obvious parachutes with flares attached to them, claiming they're UAPs. The Pentagon also released this picture of an actual space alien, 100% real. Here's another image of it, and as you can tell, this is clearly a space alien. There's no other explanation, except it's actually a 1950 hoax photo published by a German magazine as an April Fool's joke.
Now look, in the 1950s, they had Photoshop. And I keep telling people that. People will be like, Sanchez, they weren't able to manipulate photos in the 50s. Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all don't do research. You just talk. I've actually researched this shit, man. People who talk like that, they didn't do the research because they're wrong. If you research photography, which I did, because in order to debunk NASA, you got to go into the history of photography. Most folks don't say, let me go research the history of photography. Let me go see when were we first able to manipulate photos. If you do that, you're going to be mind blown. And you're going to realize that it's common knowledge in photography. You're just mind blown because you never looked into it. But if you was a photographer, photographers know this. You know what? Photographers would tell you, ever since we created cameras, we was able to manipulate photos, and that is the truth. Go do your research. So yeah, we was able to manipulate photos from the beginning of when we started making photos. And our ability to manipulate them only got better. So were we able to place objects in photos that wasn't there? Yes, we were in the 50s. Were we able to take out people out of photos that was in the photo? We was able to do that in the 50s. And I'm asking you right now, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Don't just say I'm wrong. I dare you to go prove me wrong. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go verify what I'm saying. Say Sanchez saying all that. Let me go see if he's telling the truth, and go do your research. That's how confident I am. I know what I'm talking about. I dare you to go try to prove what I'm saying wrong. And I'm telling you right now, don't believe nothing I'm saying. Don't believe me. Go verify what I'm saying. Were we able to manipulate photos in the 50s like what I'm telling you? Don't believe it. Go prove me wrong.
And it's on the official Department of Defense government website, page 99. You can check it out yourself. This is pathetic.
So basically,
So once we realize we're able to manipulate photos like this ever since the 50s, we got to question history. We can't just look at pictures and books and look at the photos we learned in school. We keep on saying that, the world is getting so crazy, it's hard to tell what's real from fake. But guess what? The world been like that since the 50s. We keep saying, man, in the future, it's going to be so hard to tell what's real from fake. But the future started in the 50s. People was looking at photos in the 50s that was manipulated, and they was calling it reality. The government wasn't telling us the capabilities they had with photo manipulation. That's not common knowledge. They put the edited photos out to the public, and they know people gonna take it as real, because people just don't think we can manipulate photos like that in 50s in the black and white. So you gotta ask yourself, what's so special about a black and white photo? Because when you give a person a black and white photo, their mind automatically say, this is real. Why? We can't manipulate photos that back then. You can rewrite history with AI, y'all, because people don't realize AI can generate an old photo with noise on it, with grain in it, make it look dirty, make it look authentic as fuck, black and white with little flaws in it, and still maintain whatever prompt you put. Whatever, you can manipulate the photo however you want, placing it what you want, and it's gonna look vintage. Now, most people using photo manipulation, they're not really deep into it where they're manipulating black and white. They're using it for thumbnails. They trying to enhance their photos and stuff. But if you want it to be deceptive today, you will literally use this stuff to rewrite the past. Because a lot of people are not going to question a black and white photo. They just not. Even in 2026, with all of the technology we got, people assume if it's black and white, it's legit. Now, this answers a question. Black and white things makes the human psychology feel like it's authentic because it feels vintage. And that explains why all of your UFO stuff is what? Black and white. Black and white. Because psychologically, people have that authenticity for the old field, you know.
Take a look. There it is very clearly on the left-hand side of the screen. Attached to the parachute is a flare leaving a trail of smoke. This is not an angel or a demon. Here's a very simple picture explaining how it works. The flare is dropped from an airplane, the parachute deploys, and the flare ignites. The Pentagon released several other videos showing obvious parachutes with flares attached to them, claiming they're UAPs. The Pentagon also released this picture of an actual space alien, 100% real. Here's another image of it, and as you can tell, this is clearly a space alien. There's no other explanation. Except it's actually a 1950 hoax photo published by a German magazine as an April Fool's joke. And it's on the official Department of Defense government website. Page 99, you can check it out yourself. This is pathetic.
So basically the UFO files are looking like the PSYOP files.
So we know there's always gonna be. That's crazy. And if you think it stopped there, it don't, because you got Joe Rogan pushing the UFO agenda, right? You got Nancy Grace, which is the female Joe Rogan. So you got Joe Rogan and Miss Joe Rogan pushing the UFO narrative. They banging on the flat earth though. Check it out. The earth can't be flat. But little green man can be amongst us walking around and we don't see him. So you got the warfare that's going on against the truth. What can be proven versus Now Bob Lazar is talking about UFO propulsion with NASA's lead scientist. You see, it's turning into a religious cult because you have the Vatican working with the tech gurus and the propulsion experts. We know that the propulsion people been part of the occult. JLP, the Jet Propulsion Labs, all of them been practicing. They was up under Crowley. You know that. They was dealing with Aleister Crowley. But people think they're into Satanism. But the truth is they're hiding mysterious technology behind we're summoning demons. And that's why a lot of people think CERN is demonic. Basically, what's ever mysterious to people, they just put the devil on it. Because they're sheeple, they're simple. And when something is mysterious to you, you shouldn't cover it in a boogeyman. You should try to uncover it with logic. But we're backwards. Something is mysterious to us, we dare not venture into an investigation. We just cover it up with our own prejudice as what we call the devil. Anything we can't understand is just Satan. It's just that old boogeyman. And that's a psychological program that they put in you to stop you investigating mysteries. When you're confronted with a mystery, you react like a sheep and you get scared of the mystery by calling it the devil. Anything mysterious. Oh, that's black magic right there. Oh, that's that occult stuff. Oh, that's the Baphomet stuff. Like, you see what I'm saying? They've done that to you to hide the truth. That's why people will see mysterious technology in the sky from the ancient world. And they will say, ooh, that's got to be a devil or angel or a demon or some spirit, or they opening up a portal to hell, or our mind go into all of these bizarre. And they will feed you that too. They'll promote that because you so far off the truth. And they'll feed those, and those will become the popular responses to when we see this mysterious stuff. But it's all part of the psychological operation. So I wanted to share this article from PBS. This article talks about 3 ways that scientists use math to help debunk UFO videos. So the government is paying scientists to sit around and use math to help them know what videos is fake or not by using math. And I want to say they ain't doing a good job, and you should stop paying them right now. That's right. If I just showed you that more than half of all the stuff the government put out about UAPs is fake, I just showed you that. The most famous photos and videos turned out to be fake and fraud. Even one of them is a April Fool's joke. But the government said that they got experts sitting around to help them determine what's fake and real before they share it. And we just proved that's a lie. So these people getting paid for nothing. And you know they getting paid good, man. That's right.
Is this really a UFO, or is it an optical illusion? To show that extraordinary videos like this can have an ordinary explanation, scientists have one powerful tool: math.
It's not graduate school level math, but it's also probably a little beyond high school math.
Joshua Semeter is the director of the Center for Space Physics at Boston University. He was also part of a panel of scientists NASA brought together to look at unclassified, unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAP data.
We didn't yet encounter any phenomena that was sort of outside the realm of physics we know.
NASA and the US government have turned to math and science publicly to help show how seemingly impossible things are possible.
The Go Fast captured the public attention and congressional attention when it was made public in 2017. Looks like an object flying very fast over the water, very close to the water.
John Koslowski, head of the Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
So if they're sitting around investigating all the footage and photos of UAPs, yet the government still leaking a bunch of fake stuff, what are they doing then? I'm going to tell you what their job is. Their job is to sit back, watch the grassroots conspiracy community, and see what photos and videos are already resonating. Then they take that same shit and either recreate the same phenomena, or they be so lazy they just share a video that was already up. People, I'm not making this up. It's sad. Listen, the government got photos in their archives that belong to other people, and they saying, we snapped this shit. And there's small communities out here that know that that photo was circling around online before the government was talking about it. Look, and if you think I'm lying, remember, the government got a photo logged in their archives right now that a dude drew in the 70s as an April Fool's joke. And the original April Fool's joke photo is still out there. While the government got this shit in their archives saying, we shot this. If that's the case, you should be the only one with it. And no one should have had a copy until you declassified it. See, this is crazy. So what are these people's job? Their job is to say which fake news we gonna share and what fake news we ain't. Because they're not there to stop the fake news, apparently. They dare to say this will work good to promote the agenda because this concept is already a known one. So if they know a bunch of conspiracy theories are already saying, man, I seen a star-shaped shit in the sky, then the government will create a star-shaped shit and leak it like, hey, man, look at what we found too. And guess what the conspiracy theories will say? See? That confirms what I saw because the government is leaking now and they're not lying either because I saw it, Sanchez. You see what I'm saying?
Office spoke to Congress last year about these kinds of videos.
I am drawn to tough scientific problems, which is what brought me to Arrow and the UAP mission. We assess with high confidence that the object is not actually close to the water, but is rather closer to 13,000 feet, a trick of the
A person may say, but Sanchez, if people really seeing this stuff in the sky and the government fake seeing it, how can that hurt? It's still real, right? Because people really seeing it. And that's where I got to show you the deception. What we're seeing in the sky is not green aliens. It's advanced government technology or it's ancient technology. What the government does, they go ahead and they play into the already preceded alien conspiracy because they know that conspiracy is safe. That ain't the truth. That's why they will recreate the same phenomena that they're testing. Think about this. The government doing a lot of testing with technology. When people see that shit in the sky, the government is like, we know that's our stuff they describing. So let us go and show our own shit like, hey, we found it too. That ain't us. That's what I'm telling y'all. It ain't that, well, the people really seeing green aliens in the sky. No, the people seeing unidentified flying objects. That is the Air Force. That is the government testing this advanced aircraft. It defies physics. The government will turn around and show the same shit you saw in the sky, and they know it's their shit and play dumb and say, hey, we found the same thing that the conspiracy theorists found. Look at this photo. It's green aliens. You see the psychological mind fuck? It's playing into what we're seeing is green aliens. It's the whole thing. What you're seeing is not human, is non-human. And if you're saying that, the government gonna play into that. Because the last thing they want us thinking, hey, what if that's actually human stuff? What if it's advanced stuff that someone is testing out, but they don't want to know, that want no one to know? Because if you're testing aircraft technology, you can't hide that. People gonna see it, and they gonna say, what the fuck is that in the sky? You need to hide stuff like that with conspiracies. If you're testing cars or an advanced car or vehicle, well, you could do that underground. That's easy to hide. But if you're testing something in the sky, you can't hide that by covering it with a blanket. You got to hide it with a conspiracy theory. Because one thing about when you testing stuff in the sky, people gonna see it. You got to tell them what they're seeing and get ahead of it and control the narrative. And the first thing you got to say, first of all, what we looking at, it ain't human. And once you see that narrative out there, people ain't gonna even consider the idea that you're hidden now. If humans are testing technology and the government get ahead of the narrative and say, oh, we know this is non-human, this is alien, they just hid theyself. That's how you hide stuff right in people's face. You can cover stuff in a blanket. You can cover it in dirt. You can also cover it in misinformation and conspiracy and mysticism. That's what the government's doing, people. This is a psychological tactic to hide things that you can't hide. So if I know that you're going to see something anyway, I can't cloak it physically, then I cover it in a narrative, a story that's making you see something other than what you're seeing. Because my story is telling you, nope, you ain't seeing that. It ain't human. You're seeing something non-human. You see what I'm saying?
Called parallax makes it look like the object is moving much faster.
The parallax effect is something you've probably seen all your life. It's when something closer to you looks like it's moving faster than the background behind it. Like when you're on a train and nearby electric poles whiz by, but objects farther away on the horizon seem to move by more slowly.
When people ask me, are aliens real or fake? I'm going to tell you like this. That's a sheeple's reaction. Because I'm going to tell you why. If you want to know what's real or fake in your reality, you got to investigate it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I can't prove aliens to be real. And I can't prove them to be fake. So guess what? I just deal with what I know. There's an old saying. It say, talk what you know. Teach what you know. All the other shit you believe in, that's your little belief. Don't force your belief like a fact, because that's what the UFO shit happening right now. I'm honest. I'm saying I do believe in aliens. I don't think they're green, man. I think they look just like humans and they blend in. Now, that's my belief though. That's my theory, and I push it as a theory, not like a fact. Today, you got people pushing green alien like a fact. And they will support their fact by saying, you eat full of ego if you think we're alone. And I'm saying, bro, people can have a different conception of aliens. That don't mean they think we're alone because they won't accept the green man. They may think the alien is something else. Some people literally think that octopuses are the real aliens because of their head and what they're able to do. Now, you can laugh at them people all you want, and I would call your ass egotistical. That's right! Because a person that's saying that an octopus is an alien, they got more facts to support their non-human life than you. Because guess what? You're saying that an alien is a non-human. By definition, they're using the word more accurately than a person believing in green aliens, because they can show us an octopus, which is a non-human entity, and they can show us everything that makes it alien to human biology, and they would have a better argument for octopuses being alien than you and your ET theory. That's from Hollywood. Yet that's the one they pushing as fact. A person literally got a better argument that octopuses aren't from Earth than you got. You know why? You can't show me shit. Where your green man at? Oh, well, look at this photo, this drawing, this conception. That ain't proof. See what I'm saying about what's happening to science, y'all?
Senator explains how the parallax phenomenon happened in the Go Fast video.
So if you place the object right on the ocean and you fly by it at a rapid speed,
Brain and
look at how many people in the chat room coming out the closet saying, Sanchez, I'm one of them. I'm one of those people that think octopuses are aliens. Y'all can come out the closet, man. I think it's an intelligent observation. Me personally, I think people who should be in the closet are the ones who believe in green men. It's very intelligent to think that an octopus is an alien, for real, if you think about it.
nearby electric poles whiz by, but objects farther away on the horizon seem to move by more slowly. Senator explains how the parallax phenomenon happened in the Go Fast video.
So if you place the object right on the ocean and you fly by it at a rapid speed, the ocean and the object would look like they were simply sitting there together. Now, if you start to move that object away from the ocean towards your sensor and fly by it, then the object is going to begin to have an apparent motion with respect to the ocean due to the parallax effect. And the closer the object gets to you, the faster it's going to seem to move. And so we need to go to the math.
So what does the math?
Now look, if this photo here turns out to be a real UAP, I'm gonna go back to my video and prove this was a missile. Bro, prove that this was a missile that was shot. They better not say it's a UAP, because we know they've been sharing fake shit already.
Math tell us. For any accurate math solution, you need accurate inputs to the equation. In this case, the inputs come from what Senator could see on the aircraft's video.
We know the speed of the aircraft. In principle, we know the distance to the object, and we know the angle from the aircraft to the object. So we have this set of parameters that allows us to apply the mathematics of trigonometry. If we take the parameters as being a good estimate of the angles, of the distance to the object, of the speed of the aircraft.
And like this, they want to make you think they know so much, but you can't use math to tell you what a non-human object is. You know why? That thing can be used in a form of math we don't know about. Humans only got algebra, trigonometry, multiplication, division. If you're admitting that we're investigating a non-human entity, then you got to open up your mind and start to think beyond your human motherfucking physics. Like, how can y'all admit that the shit is moving in ways that humans can't do, but still try to define it with human math? That's fucking idiotic. But it works on sheeple, because you see a dude in a suit saying a bunch of numbers and shit, and I'm telling you as a nerd, none of that matters. If I was debating him, I'd embarrass his ass.
Then we find that that object is in fact not moving at an extraordinary velocity. It's moving more along the lines of 30 to 40 miles per hour.
A speed which just so happened to match wind speeds at that altitude. So
guess what? They just proved it ain't an alien. Good job. But why they can't do that for all the other fake stuff the government sharing? So this is such a good psyop, because this video will make a person think, well, the government protecting me. The government is making sure I don't get no fake footage. And it's very clever what they doing, because while they sharing videos while they're debunking some of the stuff, they letting some of the fake shit go out there. And that's what you do when you know how to master manipulate. You got to act like, well, listen now, we're making sure we're checking this shit. You know, we ain't gonna give you nothing fake while giving you some fake. People will fall for this, though. They'll say, so you telling me that the government giving us fake photos? And they'll play this video right here and say, look, Sanchez, this proved that they checking the photos, bro, and they ain't put no fake stuff out. You see what I'm saying? You got to do it. It's easy. You can go to any government website and get the source photo. Download that mug and drop it in an AI authentication site. Guess what? People already done it. Everything coming back fake. But people don't want to do that because, and my thing is, why would the government pay someone to do that when it's a free service today? What you're really paying them to do is control the narrative and be like the authority over what's real and what's fake. Now, they're going to give us a fake ass reality, but they want to be the authority over what gets deemed fake or not. That's why they're paid and they occupy this position, to simply be the authority, even though shouldn't no person be the authority over this, because we supposedly got non-biased software that everyone can use. That's like me saying I'm the authority over what's real and fake when everyone got a mind of their own, and you should be able to go out there and investigate and prove something real or not. Shouldn't no team or police go out there and be like, that's what we're gonna say is fake, and that's what we're gonna say is real? Nope, it's up to every human to prove what's fake and real on their own. That way we don't have an authority over this. That's right. That's how it was supposed to go, in case y'all forgot.
While this video was not proof of alien intelligence, all it took was a little human intelligence and data for a more down-to-earth explanation.
Now let me show you. The government is using fake videos and fake photos to prove UAPs. I'm gonna show you viral videos of good citizens exposing the government for what they doing. I'm not the only one. And I want to shed some light because these guys are really going the extra mile of like exposing how corrupted the government is with this UAP agenda, man.
I shouldn't be, but someone has leaked a video. I'm having a hard time with something, and I know that I shouldn't be, but someone has leaked a video from the Pentagon. They literally recorded a screen on their phone, and then they...
To everyone in the chat room, we have a goal set. If you guys want to participate, support independent research and live streams. Every contribution helps keep these broadcasts going. Thank you for your support. We need 10 people to send in $20 if you can to help us reach our donation goal. Thank y'all in advance.
They literally recorded a screen on their phone, and then they leaked that. And now Congress thinks that they found UFOs.
I'm not jumped to the conclusion that I believe that there are aliens coming from another planet, but I'm open to that.
But is there specific evidence or footage or document that you think lends extreme credibility to what we're discussing today?
I would say this new video we're seeing today is exceptional evidence.
First of all, we just need to make a list of the weird things about this video. Let's watch the video.
I think the weird thing is when the government show up saying this video is very convincing. So the government is behaving like regular sheep, because you ask a person for proof today, they say, let me show you this YouTube video. And they throw their phone up in front of your face. No one do real scientific investigation and experiments. You'd be like, man, hey, can you prove that aliens are real? And they pull their phone out their damn pocket. They go to a video and they show you some phenomena in the sky. And they say, well, green men got to be among us because I saw some in the sky moving in a way I can't explain.
Stupid.
So the fact that our government reacting the same way is letting us know where that whole reaction come from. They're playing dumb. They know this ain't how you prove shit. They put their playing into the conspiracy like regular people.
Here real quick. I'm going to do the quick version of it. We're going to be seeing a thing that is traveling over the ocean, and then it gets hit by a missile, like a thing flies through it, and then it floats along with these pieces after it. And then we're going to zoom out, and we're going to show it. This is what it looks like zoomed out, where it's like not actually focused in on it. And you can see in
Now, this the same video that I just played previously, where the government's own people said, this is not an alien, it's not UAP. But here's the thing now, when people say that the government didn't lie, oh yes they did, because the government shared the 8-pointed star and they shared the actual alien that was the April Fool's joke, and not only that, they archived it in the Pentagon. Oh yeah, the government hands is dirty. They done shared too much fake stuff. They should be censored. Let's give a big shout out to Truth Seeks You. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you being one of 10. Blessings right back to you, bro. Appreciate you. We only need 9 more people. Truth Seeks You. Appreciate you for being the first one.
in the zoomed out version, if you look at it hard enough, you can see like little dots flashing every once in a while. It's a little bit of a microcosm of the whole situation. So if you ask somebody who knows about UFOs, they'll just tell you what this is. They're going to be pretty sure they know exactly what it is. And when I explain this to you, you're going to know exactly what it is. You're going to look at this video and you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's what it is. Well, maybe not. Look, I don't know who you are. I posted about this on TikTok, and the top comment is, the biggest red flag was them showing it. If the Pentagon saw this as a legitimate threat, they would have classified the wazoo out of it. Well, that
I've been saying that for years. If the government thought that alien threats really existed, we wouldn't know about it. It'll be top secret. They wouldn't want to freak the fucking public out. And guess what else they wouldn't want to do? Admit their own incompetence at the DOD. Because what they're basically admitting is that our Department of Defense is failing us. We have unidentified flying objects flying in America's sky every day. What the fuck is the military doing? We ain't shooting them down. Now they would tell you, well, we can't shoot it down because it's moving like an alien. But they got their own people saying that it's only going 40 miles per hour. People, this crazy. You got people who research UAPs for the government saying that's man-made. I just showed it to you. If it's man-made, why the hell is it still unidentified, and why can't we shoot these things down? Again, it don't make sense, because the people that's telling us that video fake, they giving us fake videos themselves. That's why it don't make sense. People will be like, well, Sanchez, that don't make sense that the government calling out fake photos like you saying, but also the government sharing fake photos.
That's the thing about this. This should be classified. And I'm going to make the case for that as well. This should not have been leaked. The government should not be sharing this, because the United States government, if they're following what they're supposed to do, they should support the United States military, which in this case they are not doing. So I'm going to make a list of things that I have heard people say that are weird about this video.
Why did he say they ain't supporting the military? Because he didn't explain it. I've been explaining it for the past couple months. Why did he say that? People, if I'm in the military and it's my job to protect the airspace and to identify any threats and neutralize them, because it's people's job to monitor the sky and to track what's up there and what's not. And if it's something up there that we can't identify, we normally send out some fighter jets to go identify it, because that's a problem. Don't you know we got people in the military who get paid for that? So when the government come out and say, all this shit is in the sky and we can't identify it, and it's flying over here and in places we don't want it, and it can be a threat, you're stepping on the foot of the DOD. Because basically what you're saying is, so they ain't doing their job then. You're saying somebody in the DOD ain't doing their job because how we haven't identified this threat, right? You're calling it a threat, and it's been flying in our skies since the 50s and the 40s. Imagine that. It's something that's been flying around in our skies since the 40s. We still ain't identified it yet. It's still an unidentified. Whose job is this? And the fact you ain't identified it yet, but you keep catching it on surveillance camera. Can you imagine working at an apartment complex doing security? You keep getting this figure on camera, on surveillance, but you ain't identified the man yet. This man been stealing, coming onto this apartment complex, sabotaging the place for 50 plus years. And we keep catching him on camera, but we still ain't identified him yet. We got to fire that security company, but we won't fire the people at the DOD. This shit been flying in our sky for over 50 years, and you keep catching the video footage of it, but you ain't identified it yet. When you think about it like that, you can see it's a bunch of bullshit.
First, this thing is moving fast. Second, the missile didn't explode. Third, this thing like bounces off the missile. What bounces in a war? Nothing, right? So that's weird. Fourth, the thing breaks into pieces. Some people are saying these are pieces of the missile. Some people are saying they are pieces of the thing. So we could just say that there are pieces and they fly in formation with the thing. Fifth, another weird thing I've heard is that all the pieces are identical. I've also heard like a sixth thing, it split the missile. People are saying nothing could split a Hellfire missile. I don't know what this means.
Are you aware of anything in the United States government arsenal that can split a Hellfire missile like this?
Did it split the missile though? Let's say it. It split the missile. So we're gonna go through these 6 points. I feel a little like a dick here because it is so embarrassing to, one, take up Congress's time with this, and two, that this is a news story. And I know that it's a news story because I've seen it on like every news outlet. I've seen people talking about it and talking about how weird it is. And it's just not weird. And we could actually be helped out by our sponsor here, Ground News, and we can type out UAP Hellfire. The Hellfire is the kind of missile involved, and I can click on that and find, here's the House hearing shows video of Hellfire strike on orb as veterans detail UAP encounters. This is from 5 days ago, mostly covered by the center, not very covered by the left, very covered by the right. We've got a very high factuality Oregonian, was it a UFO? Video seems to show a US military strike on a glowing orb. And over here, we got a low factuality one, shocking video of US military drone firing a Hellfire missile at UFO only to watch it bounce harmlessly off over the coast of Yemen. There's a lot of bouncing going on in this story. New released video of House UFO hearing appears to show a US missile striking and bouncing off orb. At least we got appears to show. Ground News is a tool that allows you to see how different people and organizations have reported on the same story and what different information and perspectives they have to offer. You can, if I find a headline that in order to get our brains into a space where we understand what this thing is, kind of just by looking at it, first you have to look at our number one claim here, that this thing is moving extraordinarily fast. One thing you'll notice is at the beginning of the video, this thing is simply moving in a straight line. It just goes in a straight line, and it looks like it's moving quite fast. Now, if the drone was stationary and the object was right above the ocean, then we would be able to tell with our eyes how fast this thing was going on. But that's not what's going on. The actual situation we have here is that this object is about halfway between the ocean and the drone, and that's about 3 miles up. And we can tell this because actually in the video, there's some numbers on the bottom of the screen, and when the laser that is on the drone is guiding to that, it's saying this is how far away this thing is. It's about 3 miles away from the drone, and then when the object moves and the laser is instead pointing at the ocean, you can see that the rangefinder now says that the ocean is around 6 miles away. What happens in situations like this is the object is moving, but if you're just looking at the object and there's something far away behind you and you're zoomed in on that object, like imagine just like looking through a rifle scope or looking through like a zoom lens, when you move it, things zoom by really fast. If you're tracking something that isn't as far away as the distance, that's gonna look like the distance is moving really fast while you're tracking that thing. And making this worse, if you're moving in the opposite direction, it will move even faster. So you're adding to the appearance of speed by looking at the thing. Like just do this with your finger and see how fast the background moves, right? It's zooming by. And the more you move your body as you look at your finger, the more the background blurs and is going fast. So you can't really tell how fast an object is just by looking at it. And that's mostly what people are doing here, especially because all of the data is not in here because this wasn't officially released. I knocked over a cup. Why wasn't it released? I don't know. Because maybe the military thought that it should be secret. secret that we're using Hellfire missiles to shoot things down in the air, which is not what they're designed for. Like, nobody knew until this video came out that that was a thing that anyone was doing. And the military likes to keep secrets from its adversaries, and they now have one.
Now look at there. I keep telling y'all, a lot of the aerial phenomena we see is military activity being cloaked under, we don't know what it is, it's alien. And here they are shooting down shit out the sky with missiles that's designed for warfare. They just using them commercially. Like, you know, I'm just sending a fucking Hellcat missile, take it down. Like, and of course they don't want that story out. So they play into the UAP agenda. What else you gonna say it is? If you got to say, well, if you say, well, Sanchez, they can just say it's a missile, but it ain't they missile. Well, now you're saying we under attack from another country. You can't play. There's only one safe way you can hide area phenomena, and that's the alien shit. That's why the government need the alien conspiracy. It lets them get away with aerial activity that they don't have to explain. They can just say, you know what, we'll release these photos and let y'all have fun with it. Like what Trump said, when really that we need to be investigating the military. And they can just go and hide in a closet behind you just looking into blurred black and white alien shit. And while we occupied with that, they still testing aerial activity. And every time we look up and say, what the hell is that? They say, man, what the hell is that? We got new photos to show you. Yeah, this is what I saw too, government. Y'all are so easy to fool. Man, y'all easy. It's people still in the chat room saying, but Sanchez, they ain't lying because I saw it too. They are lying and I saw it too. Y'all don't get what I'm telling you. I'm saying that the government is saying that ain't our shit. That's little green men. I'm not denying that we see unidentified stuff in the sky. I'm with y'all on that. It's a fact. We look up in the sky and we see shit we can't explain. What's the lie? What the government pushing is that it ain't human. So when you say they ain't lying, Sanchez, you helping them push the psyop. Ain't nobody saying we don't see shit in the sky we can't identify. We're saying they're lying. I bet you that is secret military technology. That's what we need to be thinking about versus we're getting visited by other beings. Then that means we're being invaded right now. We need to be in full war mode, and that's what they want. Because what's his name? President. What president? He said. Let me pull that up. Drop a one if y'all can hear me. Let's do a quick tech check. It was Reagan. They've been planning this for a long time. Listen.
And more secure for you and your children. I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species from another planet.
Now this is Reagan, y'all. This is Ronald Reagan, bro, and this is what, in the 70s? And Reagan is responding to a speech that was held previously about world peace. And when they say world peace, they're basically saying bow down to the Zionist agenda. It looked to us like we're just trying to go around and create peace. Guess how you create peace? By staying in your country and leaving people alone and minding your business. You don't go create peace by let me go over it. That's basically you bullying folks, like either get down or lay down. We can have peace or we can have war. It's because peace is only gonna come if you subscribe to Zionism. That's the whole what we got to realize, Israel has infiltrated the UN, the Vatican, the theological authority above the world, which is the most powerful one. It is what's an extension of the UN and the New World Order agenda. So understand that the Zionist agenda is the United Nations agenda. You got to know that so you can see why America influences the UN more than any other country. Like China, America, the three major religions, which is Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, and Christianity. That's the three-headed dragon. And lo and behold, we see what's influencing the UN the most. And ain't none of that shit a coincidence. But check this out, right? America is sold to Israel. So when you hear Ronald Reagan talking like this in the past, it lets you know how long this agenda been around of them looking for a way to bring forth the one world government. And they've been flirting with the idea of, well, in order to get every human on earth to work together after we've divided them up for the past 400 years, we gonna have to see, because this what y'all got to realize real quick. I gotta be thorough with this. They've been using divide and conquer to get us to this point. And they've been making us all see the next one as a threat. To the black man, the white man is a threat. To the white man, the black man is a threat. To the American people, China is a threat. To China people, America is a threat. They've been creating this illusion that all of us are our enemies. But they don't need that illusion anymore, right? This new agenda that they got requires everyone to stop fighting and come and work together for what's about to come. And I've been telling y'all about this. It's a unified world system where they really don't want a world where we divided anymore, because they really wanted a world where we just controlled. And their mind is all about control. And they don't need division tactics to control us anymore, because we've been dumbed down to a level where we're handing over our liberties and our freedoms through scare tactics like the pandemic. So we're reaching a new form of government where the fear propaganda about to be on steroids, and they ain't gonna want everyone divided. They're gonna want everyone working together like during the pandemic, like COVID, where every country had to come together because this is a threat against humans, right? And that was a test for the alien shit. Because if they say, well, these things are now striking, they're shooting at us. Now humans are under attack from extraterrestrial beings. What will be the implementations of that? It'll be a worldwide lockdown scenario that's worse than COVID. For your safety, though, because we're under attack. We don't know. You see what I'm saying? And they've been looking for the ideal situation to bring forth a one world program. And guess what? It's really nothing better than if aliens attack the earth. Overnight, everybody will have to stop fighting and work together. So if you think about it, it's a genius solution. But the hard thing about it is convincing people aliens are real. And that's what they've been doing for the past 40, 50 years, seeding the UAP, UFO, the alien narratives in cartoons, movies, popsicles. You may have a alien green man cereal, right? The green man on your t-shirt, because you telling me aliens are real, but I can't find them. So you got to give them to me some kind of way. Well, we'll give you an alien popsicle. We'll give you an alien candy bar. And psychologically, the aliens are among us. It's a reality. The mind is very tricky, y'all.
outside and more secure for you and your children. I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together.
Let that sink in. Every time you see UFOs, they around the jet pilots, but they ain't shooting at them. Now think about it. They're telling us this is a threat. Any unidentified object infringing on your property without permission is by default a threat. Even a homeowner will walk outside with their rifle. They want to identify what's infringing on their property, on their territory. Likewise, as Americans, we treat our airspace the same way. I was in the Air Force. You don't fly inside of our airspace without permission. And if you flying around anywhere in America and without permission, guess what? When you pass certain, these airplanes got to use electricity to work. So you can be tracked. Everything in our sky, it's a blip on a radar somewhere, and we know what's up there, man. Okay? So if there's a bunch of stuff up there unidentified, it identify itself or we shoot it down. That's just simple. Just like a homeowner. Who is that? You keep walking in my backyard, you doing mysterious stuff. What you doing? Who are you? You won't say nothing? You risking your life, man. You got to ask yourself, why don't the government protect us with the same care of a homeowner? Ain't America our house? Because check this out. You got the military flying right by this unidentified threat, and it won't shoot it down, but it'll shoot your drone down. If you was in the sky right now and you didn't have your license, if your plane wasn't registered, and you would pop up on someone's radar as a dot that ain't accounted for. Listen, every little dot on their radar, it got a name by it. It got information by it, and they know who that is and what that is. You're going to pop up on their radar with no information, and guess what? You're now an unidentified flying object. The DOD now is worried, what is this thing right here on this radar that we haven't registered, that isn't registered in our database, flying around in our sky? They gonna say, send in some fighter jets to go up there and identify that object. And if they can't make contact with the pilot and identify it, shoot that shit down. We ain't taking no chances. And we will identify the broken pieces off the ground. Right? That's how the military do it. And when them fighter jets get up on you and they say, yeah, this ain't ours, man. This is unidentified. We didn't make this. Then the captain got to make a decision. Do you want us to go ahead and fire on it? Well, give it another chance to identify. Give it some orders. Can you? Well, it's not responding because it's communications in the air that they use as pilots. But if it's an alien, it won't know, right? But too bad, shooting it down. Hey, we found aliens, but they dead, y'all. They got bullets in them. That's how that shit will work. It won't be no big mystery. It'll be, hey, man, they just shot down a UFO, and when it landed, they opened it up, and, bro, it was some aliens up in there, Sanchez. Boom, conspiracy over. They real, but they dead. Too bad. Yeah, man, y'all being too nice to aliens, but y'all won't be this nice to humans. Listen, you got UFOs flying over Area 51 all the time. I want one of y'all to go try to fly your ass over Area 51 and you ain't identified. You're getting shot down. You're getting shot down flying over Area 51 and you are an unidentified threat. They ain't taking no chances. They shoot down shit every day and it's just drones that people sacrificing to spy on Area 51. So imagine if you a real pilot in your little plane, you're getting shot down, man. It's lethal force. They ain't playing. But my question is, why we won't shoot down the aliens, man? They're a threat too, according to y'all. We so friendly with ET, but they want to shoot the humans up and we all humans. That's crazy. The government keeps saying when we see aliens, we all got to come together against the aliens, but the military acting nice to them motherfuckers. You got a fighter jet right there that won't blast that motherfucker, but it was you, it'll blast your ass though. That's right. They shoot. So what is going on? It is government technology. That's why they won't shoot it. You don't think that they would shoot at that shit if it was a real unidentified threat? I'm telling you, as an ex-Air Force member, it's some white boy that can't wait to shoot that shit. And Sarge ain't gonna do nothing but say, yeah, shoot it. They won't identify? Yeah, shoot it, man. Shoot that shit down. It's over a military base. It's over what? And they still haven't identified. And you sure it's not out? Yeah, shoot it down. That's how that normally works, folks. This ain't no damn game. Ain't nobody playing about this Defense Department. You can die playing around these bases. So I'm saying, why come the aliens get so much passes, though? Because it ain't alien, it's they shit. That's why you ain't gonna shoot your own equipment up.
But wait, we don't have to pretend. There's actual I'm so glad I'm recording this. But wait, we don't have to pretend. There's actual real evidence of things flying around in our airspace that's way juicier than like a fake video.
See how these big channels playing into the conspiracy? They try to get everybody riled up by saying it's unidentified. Okay, the real question is, if it's an unidentified threat, why does it keep hanging out with the military? The hot spots for these sightings is around military bases. And on top of it, they're often seen accompanied with fighter jets. You know it ain't no lie because the fighter jets are the main ones that keep snapping the photos. But you ain't never shooting at this shit, is what I'm saying. You're a fighter jet. You supposed to be defending us from unidentified threats, but yet you just want to take pictures and scare us with a conspiracy instead of do your job. This is a psychological operation, folks. This is not being rolled out legitimately. They're not legitimately responding to an unidentified aerial threat. They're rolling it out like it's a fucking joke. If someone in my backyard on my property and I ain't identified them and I think it's a threat, I'm not gonna take a fucking picture of them and come back in the house to scare y'all. I'm gonna shoot at the motherfucker. That's right. I'm giving your ass a bunch of warnings. And if I legitimately think you're a threat to my family, man, I may not kill you, but I'm going to shoot your ass in the leg. You going to learn when I tell you to identify yourself and get off my property to listen and obey the homeowner's words. And especially in the South, that'll get you shot. In the South, you may be walking through the woods and end up on some private property. Guess what? You can die like that. And them people ain't gonna go to jail either. If you live in the South and you know what I'm talking about, you better tell them. They don't got a sign that say beware of the dog. It say beware trespassers will be shot. And guess what? They ain't playing with you though. They ain't playing. So why the government playing? Because the government ain't playing with humans. If you fly over Area 51, you're gonna be shot down. It ain't no damn what and if buts about it. It's a death sentence. Why the aliens keep getting a pass though? When the aliens flying over restricted airspace, the fighter jets just want to snap pictures and shit versus shoot bullets. Cause like I said, if a dude in my backyard, fuck a camera, I'm coming out with my gun. Why is so many photos and it ain't enough shot up goddamn alien ships falling out the sky? We don't want to see no more footage. We want to see a fucking alien vehicle shot the hell up by fighter jets now. That's right. If you can aim a camera at them, you can aim a gun at it. This shit look like a joke to somebody who really know about how this shit go.
Oh. I have feelings about this lately because we've been deep in UFO stuff and why the US military is studying UFOs, which they call UAPs because UFOs sounds like aliens. And lucky for us, we don't have to make up videos because there are videos out there of really interesting cases where Navy pilots.
They don't gotta make up videos, but yet we just proved three out of 4 of the viral videos were fakes. And one of them was an artist drawing as an April Fool's joke. But see, here go one of these conspiracy. Here go another, like again, the algorithm pushes these kind of folks that's selling a narrative with no real investigation. Look at the videos. It doesn't look human, so aliens are real. That's the sheeple's response. Ain't y'all tired of knowing that to somebody I'm a dumbass? Because to y'all, it feels like, well, I'm following the popular narrative. I won't get joked on. The mainstream people, most people believe in aliens. So I'm playing it safe. But here's the price you pay for that, to blend in and not question. Everybody at the top with the money who really worth something, they look at all of y'all like dumbasses. I'd rather be kicked out of the dumbass crowd just so that the elite crowd know that I'm one of them. I got bargaining power. I can sit at the desk with the devil and say, you know what, maybe I tone my teachings down. But you ain't got that. You believe a lie. You can't even sell your soul because your soul ain't worth shit. You're a dumbass. The devil don't gotta pay for your soul. You gave it to him freely with your ignorance. Now, I won't sell my soul, but I'm just giving y'all an example of how low at the bottom you are. You're not gaining nothing being part of the fucking big crowd of dumbasses. If you want to gain something for real, still let them folks know I ain't no dumb. The worst thing you can be is a willful dumbass in this world. Even if you say, Sanchez, I don't want to fight for the truth. I want to get me some money and ball out. Being a dumbass and playing dumb still ain't gonna get you there. If you want to be part of elite people, they all know the truth, nigga. If you get with the elites and you're a dumbass, they gonna treat you like a dumbass and a hoe. I do business with people all the time, but they know they can't play with me like y'all dumbasses. I got connections in the music industry, but I got more leverage than a dumbass. Why you think niggas like Jay-Z is so powerful, but he's part of secret orders? Because the people that really know shit, you can't sell them short. You got to really pay them people. So a lot of y'all think, well, I know the truth, but I'm going to play dumb to get my money. You going to get some money, but you still ain't going to be on a jigger level. It's levels to this shit. Playing dumb don't get you high as you think. I'm telling you that. I'm showing niggas how to sell their soul. You too dumb to know how to bargain with the devil. You stupid. The devil don't bargain with dumbasses. He already owned them.
They're flying around and they're seeing things that they don't understand. They don't understand how they're moving. They don't understand what they are. And it's really interesting stuff. The US military is releasing these reports and they're kind of dense and not very exciting to read until you find the juicy data. But like, it's there. They're collecting stuff. We're understanding UFOs. Let's go look at that stuff instead of having to make like pretend videos with like pretty shitty animation. Sorry. I'm so glad I'm recording this. But wait, we don't have.
If you think Aleister Crowley was a dumbass, then you would think what I'm saying don't make no sense. When it comes to elite, the elite, right? They got dumbasses that they control. Like, let me show you what a dumbass is. A dumbass to the elite is a young crash out rapper. He signs a cheap deal, sell his soul, crash out. He disposable to some record label. That's a real person that don't know the truth. They plugged into this shit and they really part of the sheeple, the crowd. Then you got niggas like Kanye West. Kanye ain't as dumb as y'all think he is. You got certain people in Hollywood. There is, bro, no matter where you go, it's gonna be people that know some shit and people that don't. I don't care if it's the rap game, Hollywood, NFL. It's gonna be people that's deep as hell into ancient truth about knowledge about the universe and shit. And it's gonna be some Christians, some people that just go to church, some people that don't care about all that deep shit. And I'm telling you, when you start getting into these industries and joining little fraternities and shit, that's how you're separated based upon who know what. It's called a secret society. The people who know the most secrets, they got the most leverage to keep their mouth shut. It's like being in a gang. If I know most secrets and a bunch of dirt about what the gang doing, I get more rank because I got a bigger responsibility knowing all that shit to shut my mouth. The gang members that don't know a lot of shit about the gang and who done what dirt and all that, we ain't really entrusted them with secrets, so their rank ain't there yet. That's how secret societies work. The more of the secret you know, the higher at the top you are, and the lower at the bottom you are, the less shit you know about what's going on. So to the average sheeple, they look at you like a low-ranking goyim. Now, you may think they look at Sanchez like that, but they don't. They just look at me like a threat. They look at me like a computer hacker. Damn it, if he could only work for us. Damn it, he's so good at the way he do what he do, or saying what he's saying, or saying through the veil, or interpreting the truth about the reality. What you think they doing in these lodges? They are studying the truth about reality while coming out telling you the lie. So there is a value for people who know the truth, even in the occult. That's why I keep telling you about Aleister Crowley, about Maria Abramovich. You will be noticing that a lot of your tech gurus are into Aleister Crowley, and you don't know why. I'm trying to tell you it's because Aleister Crowley, the witches are the real people with the knowledge. Because what you calling the witches is just the people that's tuned into the ancestral knowledge about the universe. They teaching it to Elon. They teaching it to the tech niggas. The tech, think about what you're calling technology is your ability to manipulate reality with devices. You got to understand the nature of reality to manipulate it. That's where the occult come in. If you don't know what the earth is, you can't manipulate reality like the tech gurus can, like these advanced engineers. The question is, will they put us all on an equal playing field so that we all can compete equally? It's their responsibility to teach everyone what they know so that we can all compete equally and that there won't be nobody with advantages. Now, ask yourself, do you think they really gonna be that honest? No, they're gonna form secret societies because our children gotta compete with their children. They're gonna give their children the secrets and only give you a small amount of stuff. And that's how they get the edge, because knowledge is power. Quit looking at the money. Look at what they brought forth in society to give them the money, because that's what's valuable. The research. We don't value that. And if you valued research, you would see why all of your nerds and tech gurus are into Satanism and like Crowleyism, because what you're calling Satanism, it ain't no spooky shit. Don't nobody really believe in no red dragon, bro. It's just a code to throw other folks off from hidden knowledge. Satanism is just occultism, hidden shit. And if you go up to any Satanist that's really high ranking, and if you was entrusted with the truth, they would tell you no one believe in no red dragon. Lucifer is a concept. The low-ranking folks believe, ha ha ha, red. Even the rappers. These rappers think that it's a red dragon under the ground, that they throwing up devil horns and shit thinking they looking cool, but it looks childish to the real elite people who into Satanism.
Have to pretend there's actual real evidence of things flying around in our airspace that's way juicier than like a fake video. I have feelings about this lately because we've been deep in UFO stuff, and why the US military is studying UFOs, which they call UAPs because UFOs sounds like aliens. And lucky for us, we don't have to make up videos, because there are videos out there of really interesting cases where Navy pilots are flying around and they're seeing things that they don't understand. They don't understand how they're moving. They don't understand what they are. And it's really interesting stuff. The US military is releasing these reports, and they're kind of dense and not very exciting to read until you find the juicy data. But like, it's there. They're collecting stuff. We're understanding UFOs. Let's go look at that stuff instead of having to make like pretend videos with like pretty shitty animation. Sorry.
How about we quit looking at videos all together and just quit talking about the shit until we get proof? Because all we doing right now is just popping popcorn and watching blurred videos, nigga. And the videos making us say who believe in aliens and who don't. But guess what? Science ain't a matter of belief. It's a matter of fact. This is a belief system. And the people that don't believe in aliens are gonna get ridiculed by the video footage that y'all wanna keep pushing. So you telling me we're alone and we seeing stuff in the sky like this, Sanchez? I'm telling you, fuck yeah, you have no proof that other world beings are among us. And what you seeing in the sky could be human stuff. It can totally be human stuff. You don't know human capabilities. You know what they told you we're capable of, and brother, they didn't tell you every damn thing. Every man know, if you read The Art of War, you never show your enemy all your capabilities. If the people in power see the sheeple as a threat, if they see the masses as an enemy, which they do, you know they ain't gonna never tell us everything they're capable of. Y'all are being naive, and it's dangerous, the mindset y'all got. Common sense ain't common. No one thinks militaristically anymore. They've programmed everyone to be, so why would they lie? That's the dumbest mental paradigm to be in. People like that don't survive long in the streets either. If you grew up in my neighborhood with that mentality, why would he lie? Why would they? Bro, you got to prove shit. You got to do your due diligence, Mr. Lazy Man.
The fuck? That's gotta be the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I was always a bit of a showman, for lack of a better term.
This is so illegal. Is that them?
That's them, man.
We're gonna call News 12. We're gonna make a call to MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and We're going to maybe call some of the New York stations, ABC, you know, we'll see.
Morristown police say they received more than a dozen calls about the UFO.
This is what was seen last night between 8:30 and 9, photographed by the Hurley family in Whippany.
I'd like to see someone, you know, tell me what it was, because I can.
And this is what we get. A bunch of videos of people saying, listen, I filmed this in the sky and I don't know what it is. That don't mean green aliens are real. I think that if that's your first response, it's the dumb response. Because when you look up and see some technology you can't explain, I think the most mature response would be, man, maybe there's something technological I don't know about. It's like we're programmed to turn everything we can't explain into some mysterious creature, whether it's the devil, an alien, a unicorn. If there's something doing something I can't explain, it's a boogeyman. It's a creature other than a human. It's gotta be something non-human. The devil is non-human. Boogeymen are non-human. Aliens non-human. And we've always given mysterious stuff to non-human entities. But that helps the humans that are hiding advanced technology. That's right. Hold on, bro. Let's give a big shout out to Adam H. Stop the show. Adam H., much love. You are 2 of 10, my brother. Grand Rising, flat power back to you. We got 2 of 10. We only need 8 more people. 8 more people send in $20 and we gonna complete this goal. We got 47 minutes. That ain't a lot of time. Appreciate y'all.
Cannot tell you what it was.
There was someone that said, well, this could be the end of days. Someone even mentioned Al-Qaeda.
We're not trying to prove or disprove anything.
What these videos do, this video is a psychological operation. It tells you how to respond to mysterious stuff in the sky. And what they do, they point you in every direction than an American human. When they think about it, if I'm the American military, I'm a human and I'm an American. Those 2 things gotta be hidden. If I'm an American human doing research in America that I want to hide from Americans, I got to say it's either non-human or non-American. Think about this. It's very simple, folks. And you got to get ahead of the narrative. When people start seeing mysterious shit in the sky, you got to automatically teach them how to respond with videos like this. And it's 2 things you got to make sure you cover. It ain't human. It ain't American. That way you just heard us now. It can't be the government now. Even though we keep saying our government airplanes with it. Now just think about that. It can't be American. It can't be human. But it always is accompanied with American humans. It's always over an American military base. So it ain't human, it ain't American, and we ain't shooting at it either. Don't you know if it's Chinese or if it's Al-Qaeda? We'll figure that out when we picking the pieces up off the ground. We don't sit around and play these games when there's an unidentified threat. What is it? Could it be this? Could it be that? We ain't got time to have a mysticism challenge, nigga. What we need to be saying is, why can't we shoot down the next one? You feel me? But they don't want to get to that part. They want to make this shit a long, drawn out mystery. Because that promotes the agenda. When people buy into the mystery, this religion is being formed. All religions are mystic-based, mysticism. No one know how Jesus walked on water. They believe in Jesus because he can do stuff they can't do. No one know how this UFO ship can move the way it's moving. So we believe in it because it can do things we can't do. It must be non-human. It must be some type of God or supernatural being or alien. You see what we're saying, what's happening here? Let's give a big shout out to Tara Love for being 3 of 10, helping us reach this goal. We only need 7 more, y'all. Tara said, much love, Sanchez. Great show as always. Thank y'all so much for the kind words and for the donations. We only need 7 more to reach our goal. Let's finish the video so you can see what a PSYOP looks like. And you will see he doing everything I told you he gonna do. It can't be American or it can't be human. Because when they go to rolling it out like that, you gotta look at everything that's not being said to get the truth. Okay, they keep pushing non-human, so it must be human. They keep pushing non-American, so it must be American. If you look at what's not being said, it will give them away what the PSYOP is hiding. Advanced American military technology. It will explain why the aliens know where all our military bases at, because that's where they hang out at the most. It will explain why American aircraft is seen with this stuff more than any other country, why y'all rolling the narrative out like it's non-American. Maybe it's Chinese, it's Al-Qaeda. Then what are American pilots doing flying next to the enemy and not shooting him down? If our military think that's Al-Qaeda, they ain't gonna just guess, they gonna shoot at it, because first of all, they don't have permission to be in our airspace. And it's unidentified anyway. Shout out to Fight Fury Films for being 4 of 10, man. We gonna reach this goal, I think. It ain't a lot of time left, but Fight Fury Films is 4 of 10. And Fight Fury said, pass the plate. Thanks for the insight, my brother. Thank y'all for supporting the content.
UFO.
This is what was seen last night between 8:30 and 9, photographed by the Hurley family in Whippany.
I'd like to see someone, tell me what it was, because I cannot tell you what it was.
There was someone that said, well, this could be the end of days. Someone even mentioned Al-Qaeda.
We're not trying to prove or disprove anything, but it's okay to be skeptical. Let's do it.
It's okay to be skeptical with UAPs, but guess what? Scientific skepticism ain't allowed. You hear that? Even the government is encouraging you, open your mind, be skeptical. What do you think it is? Only with this. And we don't see this as a throw off and a distraction to cover up advanced technology. And the narrative should be, what can this technology do? What is the implementations of this moving forward for society? How will it be used? And I think, and I may not be able to go into this in this stream, but I'm gonna go into my whole concept of what I think the whole alien invasion gonna look like. I'm gonna give you all of my notes as far as how I think they're gonna start making this stuff start to attack. And it's going to become a real aerial threat, because even in Reagan time, they've been trying to get to this point. So I think the next phase of this thing is to actually make this stuff start to shoot and maybe attack a couple of places. And it's sad, because if I'm right and this is the government, they're going to be attacking their own citizens and killing them. But Sanchez, they wouldn't do that. Go research the Watergate experiment. Go research the Watergate joint.
$6:35 p.m. It's January 5th. Yep, Monday, 2009.
Chris and I known each other 13 years at that point. Chris and I were a little bit of class clowns. We would talk about all sorts of pseudoscience.
And I was having thoughts in my head since 2004 about doing something.
He actually came up with the idea of perpetrating a hoax.
I saw in the 1960s someone put flares on large balloons and let them go, and it created a stir.
And from there, the idea started to come together about
I'm going to show y'all a bunch of videos of people doing their own fake videos and the news start to put it out and the government get behind it. Y'all going to trip out. Let's give a look. Wound socket truth is 5 of 10. Let's show love. We halfway, y'all, and we still got 40 minutes. That ain't really bad. We can make this happen. Shout out to Wound Socket Truth. I've been obsessed with abduction phenomena for decades. There might be more to the topic of non-human plasma intelligence, which can manifest with many different masks. We love you, Brother Sanchez. You make great points. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that is an intelligent concept of alien. You know what I'm saying? Like, just falling into the Hollywood green man stuff, to me, is simple and lazy. It don't require critical thinking. You can tell this brother thought about that shit. Because what he's saying is maybe non-human. Because think about, the human is dealing with the body, right? If we're interacting with paranormal beings from a layer beyond the human's biology or spirit being, then this would be similar to what he's saying here as well. I can resonate with that. Plasma is a phenomena we know about, plasma intelligence, and plasma is just light. It's like this other state of matter that's outside of it's beyond our realm, but yet we can see it here. Whatever plasma phenomena is, it's what the soul is made out of. But that's more along the lines of what otherworldly entities would be. Like, really, the whole UFO shit is taking away the fact that there's a way to communicate with the dead, because dead people consciousness are still here with us. It's just outside of the 2020 box. We hear from 20 hertz to 20,000. We see 2020, but there's more to see and more to hear outside of that human limitation. That's what we're calling the invisible realm of the dead. So the ancients talked about ways to communicate with the dead, but no one talked about communicating with aliens. If they want to tell us today that the ancients were visited by so many aliens, why didn't they have diaries about communicating with them? They talk about communicating with the other side, not other worlds. So they taken the ancient concept of the mortal world being in contact with what we call the visible and invisible worlds being united through knowledge that we lost. But again, the UFO shit is like the modern watered down form of us trying to contact paranormal beings, our dead loved ones. Now we want to contact aliens, and that was like Jesus. That's what you call a foreign spirit. What these people specialize at doing is throwing you off and breaking the connection between you and your ancestors. Instead of us trying to contact the ancestral realm, we want to contact ETs. People believe we can contact aliens, but they don't believe you can talk to the dead. They'll laugh at you on that now. And to me, I think it's funny to believe in aliens. And I think it's intelligent to think that the living can communicate with the non-living. And I think science supports communication with the dead, because dying is just passing on into the spectrum of reality that we can't detect with our human biology. A person ain't dying. They're just leaving the reality that you're limited to. And according to science and ancients, long after a person take their last breath, we still detect neural activity. That's more proof that the dead ain't gone nowhere. Let that sink in. You got people's bodies laying up in places where they done breathed their last breath a month ago, and we still getting hella neural activity. So I said long time ago, we don't die when we stop breathing. We die when we stop thinking. and you don't stop thinking. The mind wanders on forever.
Lights in the sky.
We knew the end game of this social experiment was us saying, ta-da, we did it.
I'd be lying if I said it didn't have a fun element to it. We were kind of excited about it, but it did sort of stem from an idea of maybe we could help raise the consciousness of some of these folks. We were always baffled by how easy it was to fool credulous people. As it went on and on and on, we thought, do we keep this alive or do we just sort of leave it as it is? And we ended up doing it a few more times to keep the story going.
Just want to show you what we have over here. Helium tank. We're going to bring the fishing line and duct tape to take the fishing line to the balloons. 2 flashlights, see in the dark. And finally, in the mystery box, looks like dynamite, but I promise you it's just 5 flares with the fishing line already attached. And here are the balloons right here. Red balloons this time.
That was pretty much it. But it's a lot when you're carrying that into the woods, along with helium tanks that were literally 4.5 feet, 5 feet tall. As we're tying those flares to that fishing line, your heart's racing.
We let the
These guys tied flares to fishing lines and they faked it UAP videos. What did we just prove earlier? One of the videos that's at the Pentagon is a flare video. So the government is either faking its own UAP videos with flares, or it's so lazy, it's just taking pre-made fake flare videos and putting them out there as real. The government needs to be like, I'm surprised it ain't a big uproar about this.
balloons go in 15-second increments, and it was beautiful. We started filming it right away to capture eyewitness footage, but also just to see what it looked like. We hadn't done any tests, so this was the first time we saw it.
We're about to fill up the first balloon. Here's the there you go, there's a balloon. Fire in the sky.
And then followed them, just to kind of track them, see how long they lasted. And as we were driving down the highway, we could see cars pulling over to the side of the road, filming this thing.
Here's some video. It was shot by Eric Hernandez from Bound Brook. And he says during a short break at work, he and 4 of his co-workers.
These dudes made the goddamn news, man. And all they did was go outside at night and launch a bunch of flares up in the sky. And people was pulling over on the side of the road to film it. Now, you can't tell people aliens ain't real. Now, you know what's crazy? Why don't the news follow up and say, hey, we found out that it was just flares and we was wrong? That's what we need to be asking. The people who made these fake videos came out later and said, we are the ones that put the footage out. It's fake. Now listen, how do you think the news get the footage? Because the news went to these people's channel, just like everyone else. The news went to the original uploader because the news gonna be thorough. They're not gonna go through a person, through a person, through a person. The clip that's going viral, the news is gonna go to the original uploader and put it on a damn news station. If the news know where to go to get this footage, then they know about the videos that them guys uploaded after the fact that said it's fake. The news ought to go right back to the same channel and say, hey guys, we doing a follow-up story. The footage we showed and thought was UAP footage actually come from these content creators that was doing an experiment. Why don't that story go viral too? The damage already done. People believe it's aliens. This story is non-popular. These guys are the ones that shot this video clip. But if I walk up to a person and say, yo, that shit fake, they gonna argue with me, even though the people that made this video said it's fake. But the news said it's real. And they believe the news as an authority over the people that actually shot the video. It's sent its popularity. It's viral. Everyone says it's alien, it's viral, it's on the news, so it's real. But the little bitty video that didn't get the views come from the people that created this video that went viral. And they said it's fake. And they got a video showing you how they made it. Why don't the news show that?
Workers saw these 5 tiny lights.
I think at that point we knew it worked.
I gotta admit, I knew exactly what they were, and I was impressed by what I was looking at. I did call the local news station here in New Jersey and said, hey, I'm seeing some crazy lights up there.
There are some like really strange lights in the sky right now over in Morristown, and it doesn't look like a plane or anything to me. It looks like 5 extremely bright lights, and I don't even know if I should be calling you guys or not about this, but it's something pretty impressive, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is.
And then it just blew up from there. It was a snowball effect. You almost had this mass hysteria where other people were injecting an opinion saying, yeah, they traveled against the wind. They took off at incredible speeds.
5 little bitty lights. And by the time you let niggas start telling the story, man, it was 500 lights up there. And they was moving at the speed of light and changing colors and making little noises saying, and they was separating from each other. And the little one came out, the big one. And then there was a gunfight, Sanchez. And it was, I'm like, wait a minute now. This shit can get crazy real quick because people be lying. And people want the bullshit to be real. Just listen at this now.
Tiny lights.
I think at that point we knew it worked.
I gotta admit, I knew exactly what they were, and I was impressed by what I was looking at. I did call the local news station here in New Jersey and said, hey, I'm seeing some crazy lights up there.
There are some like really strange lights in the sky right now over in Morristown, and it doesn't look like a plane or anything to me. It looks like 5 extremely bright lights, and I don't even know if I should be calling you guys or not about this, but it's something pretty impressive, and I cannot for the life of me figure out what it is.
And then it just blew up from there. It was a snowball effect. You almost had this mass hysteria where other people were injecting an opinion saying, yeah, they traveled against the wind. They took off at incredible speeds.
They were just kind of floating along. We didn't really know what they were.
Just that they looked like very like in a formation.
Sort of streaked down toward New York, and the final one just kind of went blip, disappeared.
Really? Just
cool.
Blip?
Yeah, I'd say blip.
Some people thought there were 5 spaceships. Some people thought it was one giant structure. So people were seeing what they wanted to see.
Whatever it was real. For me, at least.
What'd you think?
Whatever it was real. 5 flares, man. Flares. A flare. Let me show you what the UFO was so y'all can see how silly this is. This right here is your UFO. This, a flare. It was real, man. I mean, and it was breaking apart, and it was, see, when you get this stuff in the sky, it looks different. It hit different when you drop this thing out the sky. It don't look like just no little flare. That's what I'm saying about the human eye perspective, camera angles. It's easy to do this.
I think those red lights were aliens.
We were driving.
You heard what the little girl said? Now that little girl gonna grow up telling her kids aliens are real. Because when I was a little girl, I saw these lights in the sky and it was getting brighter and brighter. Now guess what's gonna happen? As a little bitty girl, seeing that fakery, it's gonna be a real reality in her world. And that's the tragedy of it. Yes, it's fake, but no, it's real. It's gonna become a real belief system to people. And what she saw as a girl is only gonna exaggerate as she grow older. The mind is gonna exaggerate it. So what was just 5 bright lights as a little girl, the more she grow up, hey man, it was 5 bright lights and they was moving real fast. It was 5 bright lights and they was like in a military formation. They're gonna exaggerate it naturally. By the time she tell it to her kids, it's just gonna keep passed on. My mama actually saw aliens. Your mama didn't see aliens, she saw lights in the sky. In her mind, she translated that to green men. But the lights in the sky were actually just flares. But that person will spend the rest of their life in a belief paradigm that they shouldn't be in. if they had the facts. So that will mold and shape a person's whole belief about aliens, and it was false. It wasn't even real. So they're technically living a simulation because they're living an alternative reality based on a lie. They would not have that belief system had they known the truth, and it probably would have made them a different person. So it's really deep, and it seems simple, but it's deep.
On Hanover, and all of a sudden we see these lights literally zip over our car.
They pulled over, grabbed Joe's camera, and started shooting.
The lights seem to ascend and descend almost in a sequence.
You can say whatever you want to the media. It's not a crime. But I kind of regret doing that because we were criticized a little bit for injecting our own commentary into this hoax. We didn't need to do that. It was already, there were so many other people that were jumping on top of this.
I'm off of Park Road, I'm in my backyard, and there's in the sky, what is it?
I walk out of my house, it's like these parachutes with these balloons with these 5 lights that are flying over.
Balloons? People are just fucking liars, man. Like, you see 5 lights in the sky. Where are you getting balloons and parachutes from? Why can't you just, I see 5 lights in the sky, I don't know what they are, boom. People love to lie. People love to exaggerate.
We didn't need to do that. It was already, there were so many other people that were jumping on top of this.
I'm off of Park Road, I'm in my backyard, and there's in the sky, what is it?
I walk out of my house, it's like these parachutes with these balloons with these 5 lights that are flying over right now.
Police say the unidentified flying object was nothing more than flares, a theory UFO hunters has already tested and proven implausible.
Now let that sink in. The police told everyone it's just flares because the hoaxers had to tell the police the truth. Think about this now. You can lie to the news, but if you lie to the police, you can be punished. When the police gets involved, the hoaxers had to tell them, yes, we doing an experiment, and it was just flares. The police gotta then go present that to the public. We know the news ain't gonna follow up and tell the truth, which there should be repercussions for media stations, because think about it. If the government want to fight against misinformation and fake news, how don't you start with the major mainstream outlets like Fox and ABC? Why are you picking on small YouTube channels like Sanchez and others? What can be more dangerous if I leak a fake story? It's nothing. If ABC do it, it's a national concern. Now check this out. This is so crazy that the people who made the fake video, they admitted to the world it's just flares. We made the video, it's fake. And the people who want to believe in aliens will tell them, you lying, that ain't fake. Think about that a minute. You're telling the people who made the video wouldn't exist if it wasn't for them. They're lying. That's aliens. That's what I mean by fanatic. You're crazy. You're UFO crazy, and it's sad. At this point, you're a disgusting individual. Because to deteriorate to that level is to you want this shit to be real so bad. Even when I make a fake video, you got to argue with me that my video real. So the UFO hunters is telling the people who made the video, this video can't be fake. Well, it is. So when people take, well, it can't be. Christians do this. Jesus can't be, or the Bible can't be wrong, or this can't be. It can be most of the time. The can't be is really you can't be convinced of the truth because you're too stubborn. That's right. That's the only can't be.
Almost in a sequence.
You can say whatever you want to the media. It's not a crime. But I kind of regret doing that because we were criticized a little bit for injecting our own commentary into this hoax. We didn't need to do that. It was already, there were so many other people that were jumping on top of this.
I'm off of Park Road. I'm in my backyard, and there's in the sky. What is it?
I walk out of my house. It's like these parachutes with these balloons with these 5 lights flying over right now.
Police say the unidentified flying object was nothing more than flares, a theory UFO hunters has already tested and proven implausible.
Police officer sees flares on balloons. That's not exciting. They wanted the people who were going to say, didn't appear to be man-made. They appear to be communicating with each other.
See what I'm saying? The news just want a juicy story. And it's crazy because if they're so into censoring fake news and misinformation, they ought to do something about these mainstream platforms putting out fake stories. And then it ain't a question if the story fake or not. This is on Vice. Vice is interviewing the original creators that's making these UFO videos. But the news won't follow up. I got more respect for Vice than ABC or anybody. When I saw this shit, I said, Vice just gained my respect. Because Vice is doing what the news should have did. Followed up like, hey, it turned out to be fake.
And these experts, quote unquote experts, came out and said, what we did could not be exactly what it was. It could not be flares and balloons.
Let that sink in, y'all. When the story went viral, they called when the creators of these videos came out and said it's fake, they went and called on experts, and the experts said it can't be fake. Now we all know it's fake. We just saw them do this in their backyard. This is a great experiment. I encourage other people in other cities to do an experiment like this. I encourage people to do this experiment to show how easy it is to leak fake news when it's playing into the narrative that they want. They will even bring in the experts to authenticate the fake shit, just like with the other stuff I've been showing y'all. How the Pentagon is taking these fake files and putting them in the department. They're collecting them as evidence when these are people. Like one of them was a literal April Fool hoax. And this logged in the Pentagon. Come on, man.
This could well be the first UFO sighting of 2009.
Up next, the team analyzes the footage, and their finding is nothing short of amazing.
That thing's just enormous.
So these UFO hunters, they spoke about the fake video on their show. Now, we all know the video fake. We saw these kids start the experiment in their backyard. This video gets so viral, it makes it to History Channel. I remember this show, UFO Hunters. And they actually covered this, saying it can't be fake when we know it's fake. Hey, shout out to Ed G. That's love. Thanks for being a member, Ed G, and thanks for being 6 of 10. Appreciate it. Hey, listen, we only need 4 more people, and we don't gotta fail at this goal. I know that it's only 15 minutes left, but I'm asking y'all, if 4 more people, which 4 are you? They out there somewhere. Y'all got 20. Y'all got it. Throw it at the donation goal. We only need 4, y'all, and we appreciate y'all for supporting this independent research. We can reach this goal in 15 minutes. We can act. It's doable.
Eventually what happened was the prosecutor in town had asked publicly, whoever is doing this, please stop. And when that happened, we stopped. And
Ed said, your teachings are top tier. The ancestors truly walk with you, brother, from Jacksonville, Florida. Man, I appreciate that love. Shout out to my people in Jacksonville. I want to get on the road eventually, man, and come out and you know, we're going to have to set something up in the future. Let me quit talking about it, though, so we can be about it.
And we kind of went into documentary mode. and figured out how we were going to explain what we did and why.
It definitely was flares on balloons. There was no extraterrestrial involvement at all with this prank.
It was all a hoax, and News 12 New Jersey's Derek Dennis found out why 2 guys from Morris County did it. That's our top story.
Okay, so it did make News 12 in New Jersey. Shout out to them.
This half hour.
Joe Rudy and Chris Russo used helium balloons and flares to make a point about UFOs. A judge in Morris Plains brought them back to Earth on Tuesday.
The hoax sparked an FAA and Homeland Security investigation, not to mention countless phone calls to area police agencies reporting a UFO sighting.
So you telling me flares in the sky made Homeland Security come out, but UAPs won't? I want y'all to let that sink in. The way that they handling this hoax is the way that they should be handling the UAPs and UFOs. This is crazy. Let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in. The Homeland Security coming out now saying flares in the sky. But the Homeland Security ain't nowhere to be found when there's unidentified aliens flying over the damn military base. Let that sink in. I just told y'all that. I said we know that this is some bullshit because they never shooting the aliens down. Listen, if there's an unidentified threat, they gonna fucking really handle that shit like they doing with these flares. Them just some flares, and they got Homeland Security out just for some flares. And that just proves my point that when some shit is real, they respond a certain way versus when they all playing along with the psyop.
And
I just got through telling y'all that they gonna lock these 2 brothers up and make them face a judge, but yet you telling me that y'all think that it's Al-Qaeda flying around in the sky over military bases and the jet pilots won't shoot at it. But you finna lock up these 2 students for some flares and make sure they face prosecution for what they did, but yet enemies can fly over our restricted military bases and we won't shoot at them and that. We just take pictures and scare people with aliens with it. Because if it's an unidentified threat, it wouldn't matter if it's an alien, it's a dead alien. And if the other theory, well, it may be China or another country, well, then we should definitely shoot it then. They're spying on us. Spies face death. We know that. So it shows you this is bull crap. Homeland Security ain't even concerned about it, but they concerned about these flares.
Stupid.
Is nothing short of amazing.
That thing's just enormous.
Eventually what happened was the prosecutor in town had asked publicly, whoever's doing this, please stop. And when that happened, we stopped. And we...
The prosecutor said, whoever doing this, stop. Why won't the prosecutor tell the aliens that? Why do we want to be visited by aliens, but if a human doing some shit, you want them to stop? It's almost like if it ain't green aliens, stop. If there's any humans doing some up there, stop it, please. But you aliens, we'll let y'all do what y'all want to do, and we'll just take pictures of it and talk about it and spread mystery. But once we find out, oh man, that shit was controlled by a human, lock his ass up. It's like you're punishing people for proving that your belief is false. People want to believe in aliens, but this experiment debunked it. It's showing you that most of the shit you seeing is human technology. If you can't identify a flare from that high up, how you gonna say it's a green alien? It makes people question their belief, and they don't want that happening, so they gonna lock you up. But think about it. Why you more concerned with locking up people using flares, which it's legal to use a flare? The military drop them from helicopters and drop them, they use them. But you can't do it, but aliens can fly over Area 51 right by fighter jets and not get shot. It shows you what they ain't protecting you from a flare. They protecting you from an experiment that will debunk their bullshit. That's why they prosecute these niggas.
Kind of went into documentary mode and figured out how we were going to explain what we did and why.
It definitely was flares on balloons. There was no extraterrestrial involvement at all with this prank.
It was all a hoax, and News 12 New Jersey's Derek Dennis found out why two guys from Morris County did it. That's our top story this half hour.
Joe Rudy and Chris Russo used helium balloons and flares to make a point about UFOs. A judge in Morris Plains brought them back to Earth on Tuesday.
Since when do you get prosecuted for doing an experiment that teaches us valuable knowledge? You should get a reward. These are two students that should be receiving an award for proving that we're moving too fast, believing in non-human entities among us, and that most of what we see in the sky can be explained. They should be receiving a reward because this will heal damn near 80 years of a mystery that got us dumbed down about this stuff. And it'll stop that. It'll stop the dumbness, the ignorance, the mystery, and show, hey, we need to rethink how we look at stuff in the sky. Maybe it's just a flare. Maybe it's something we can totally explain that's human. Maybe it's not as mysterious as we think. That's what this experiment proves. And why don't, that's a good thing, bro. We should, this is science, man, in the form of human psychology, how our minds work. This was a genius experiment. You don't put them in a courtroom for this. You roll out the red carpet and give these students a reward. But it shows you the kind of world we live in.
The hoax sparked an FAA and Homeland Security investigation, not to mention countless phone calls to area police agencies reporting a UFO sighting. The result, misdemeanor disorderly conduct charges against culprits Chris Russo and Joe Rudy.
So these guys are criminals for their actions. This action made them criminals versus scientific gurus. If you really think about what just happened, these guys are fucking heroes. These two motherfuckers should be on t-shirts everywhere. I don't understand how they ain't rock stars in the damn conspiracy community. Because the conspiracy community is flooded with the alien belief. Most conspiracy theorists think the government is hiding aliens. The government playing into the agenda to make aliens real psychologically. While they are the ones faking it with different forms of technology to cover up other stuff. These dudes were heroes, and they were turned. When you literally do something worth something in this world to fight against the system, you become criminalized and punished and censored like flat earthers, like these guys. You don't get rewarded for doing the good thing in this world. You get punished for it. Look at Jesus. If you want to know if you're doing good in this world, are your actions getting rewarded by the higher ups or punished? If these people in power are rewarding your actions, chances are you working for the devil.
2 guys from Morris County did it. That's our top story this half hour.
Joe Rudy and Chris Russo used helium balloons and flares to make a point about.
Hey, Charity, appreciate that love all day, Charity. You're a real one. Bro is making me laugh at some serious ish while I'm working. Thank you. You're welcome, Charity. I'm glad I can give you some enlightenment and some entertainment. We only got 5 minutes left on our goal. Don't look like we're going to be completing it, but I appreciate everyone that donated. Believe that. Unless someone want to do them last minute donations right when the time running out, like, we're going to see if we get anyone inspired to do that. Appreciate y'all. Let's play this out.
UFOs. A judge in Morris Plains brought them back to Earth on Tuesday.
The hoax sparked an FAA and Homeland Security investigation, not to mention countless phone calls to area police agencies reporting a UFO sighting. The result, misdemeanor disorderly conduct charges against culprits Chris Russo and Joe Rudy. A slap on the wrist.
Chris and Joe's social experiment got them $250 fines and 50 hours of community service.
Even after we came out and said we did it, there are still people that think we're government agents.
And that's crazy. The UFO people that want to believe it gonna call them agents. They proving to you, think about this now. You can go on a channel and see them doing the experiment in a backyard before the shit went viral. They recorded it all. They're in their backyard taping the flares to the balloons. They're telling you what they're doing and they're gonna trick everybody. Way before the shit go viral, they're recording it. But people are so delusional. They will say, you're an agent. You just don't want the truth out. And the truth is that we can't prove aliens are real. You want them to be real so bad that you rather lash out at people that's proven to you ain't no proof of them. It's like telling a Christian, we can't prove Jesus is real. You see? You can't prove it. And the thing about the way science works, if a person make a claim, they gotta prove what they saying. If you say aliens are real, where's your proof? You made a claim. You can't show me a bunch of videos, because guess what you're showing me? That unidentified stuff in the sky is real. Yes, that's real. It's real to see stuff in the sky we can't identify, but that don't make green men real. That don't make aliens real. Just mean that UAPs are real. The psychological operation is making you represent one with the other. You're saying them synonymously. You shouldn't. If there's something you can't identify in the sky, guess what? Identify it. And if you can't identify it, don't just make up shit. That's dishonesty. Shout out to Stella Skills for coming through with the super chat. Appreciate the love. Stella said they need to spend their community service hours continuing to debunk the system. That's right. That's just facts. But the part that really pisses me off is how people gonna now call these guys agents for saying, hey, our video is fake. It was just a trick. We just to show y'all how gullible y'all are, that you want aliens to be real so bad, you will take anything as proof. And people don't want to look in the mirror and face the facts that, you know what, I'm delusional. I want aliens to be real so bad that I was able to be bamboozled and hoodwinked by some fake footage. I didn't investigate the footage because I just want my belief to be real. That's dishonesty. And that's what these guys prove. Nobody want to admit I'm a dishonest, I'm a bad individual. My belief has made me a bad person. My belief has made me not honest anymore.
We're covering up the real truth.
Nobody gonna say I need to work on myself. They gonna say, you just hating. You gonna go to hell. You don't believe. You're a non-believer. This shit's a religion.
So even when you
fines, social experiment got them $250 fines and 50 hours of community service.
even after we came out and said we did it, there are still people that think we're government agents, we're covering up the real truth. So even when you place something right in front of somebody and say, here is your proof, people will still say, nope, that's not good enough. We think you're covering this up.
Most of these things do have an explanation.
Even after we came out and said,
it's sad. I want to gift some memberships, people. If you're in attendance right now, I'm going to gift 5 memberships. I don't get to choose who get them, but I'm going to gift 5 memberships. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make this video viral, like it and share it. The streams where the numbers ain't high, I give memberships to show the people that when you didn't, for not tuning in to the stream, you missed the opportunity to be gifted a membership. That's kind of what I was doing. Appreciate y'all. Let's send the 5 gifted memberships. Tune in to every show. You may be gifted a membership. The shows you miss, we gift memberships.
Explanation. But again, I don't think that sways people. I think they want to believe, and they always will.
we think you're covering this up.
Most of these things do have an explanation. But again, I don't think that sways people. I think they want to believe, and they always will. There's nothing Chris and I could have done to disprove UFOs visiting Earth, but hopefully we maybe changed a few people's minds, and at least got them to rethink. Next time they see lights in the sky, what could that be? Is it an alien, or maybe is it 2 guys pulling off a prank in the woods?
So for now, better keep watching the sky.
So every time we see these lights like this, how we know it ain't just flares? It all look the same. People don't want to, though. They want to believe in it.
You know, in case more aliens show up to attack us with road flares. Go Jersey.
Yeah, the world is so dumbed down that it's at a dangerous place now. It's at a dangerous place. Like he said, most of the stuff can be explained. So why do we have these pointless archives? Like, think about this right here. Everyone know this is just a fucking string from a tree hanging over. This, come on now, bro. This can be explained. This is a small miniature UFO ship about the size of a plate. You hang it from a string at this certain position, and it looks like it's flying through the sky. There's a string hanging here on the tree, and this is in the government archives. Now look, who shot this footage? Who was walking through the jungle and saw this damn thing flying through the jungle? And where did it go because other people should have saw it? In a lot of these cases, they'll say it just vanished after that. Why? So you can be the only reported viewer. It's convenient. Hold up, Fuzzy Booger came through. What a name. Some boogers are fuzzy, and that's one of them. Shout out to my peoples for the donation. Shout out to you, Fuzzy Booger. Nah, check it out, right? This is easily faked. So after we just watch these videos of the government using fake stuff, when you go through these archives, shit hit different. Like, what is this little thing right here, right above it? It looked like some on the string that should have been cropped out right here. Again, who's standing in the woods waiting for some shit to just go across the sky right there? And why ain't nobody else shot no image down the road when it passed by them? Now, in a lot of these shout out to Yundella. Yundella coming through with a donation. Shout out to Yundella for that donation. You can fake this stuff so easy, but this what they got in the National Archives. Why? Because they want future generations to keep this religion going. So the government got an archives full of fake shit, full of humans making fake footage for years to seed the UFO propaganda. All of this stuff can be explained. Most of it is human made. And the government got a lot of stuff in their archives that's hoax. It turned out to be human made. They basically filling up their archives with this propaganda to keep it living forever. So future generations will always keep this conspiracy going. Because the government saying, look, we don't know what it is. Keep this archive open for future generations. Maybe they'll figure it out. No one never gonna figure it out. People just gonna keep going with the narrative that green men live among us. That's why y'all keeping it open. It's like a Bible. These UAP, UFO archives is like the new Bible for the alien religion. And instead of having a book of John, a book of Thomas, it's just different archives from different sites like this. The National Archives here in different sections like that, and people go in those. It ain't words. The new Bible is gonna be visual because they want to plant the idea in your head. The narration is gonna come from the TV. That's what a narrative. They already gave you the narrative, so they don't need words. It don't need a narration. They don't need to say nothing. They just need a bunch of archives with the pictures. And the future generations will say, that's aliens. And they know that. And it keeps this religion going. And here's the Bible for it. It don't prove aliens. It proves stuff in the sky we can't explain. But they know what this will do psychologically. Because they've already told people it ain't human because we didn't do it. And it ain't American because we didn't build it. So people just got to look at this and wonder forever, what could it be? And they're going to fill in the blank with the green alien thing because it's easy. Everyone already chose that answer. Let's go with the crowd. They know how we think. All of these pictures look just like the video them niggas made when they was hoaxing everybody. I think all of this shit is flares. It's flares, bro. Not all of it, but most of it. Most of it is flares. And the other is real advanced technology that we can't explain because it's so ancient. The ancients were more advanced than us. Let's finish this particular video.
One less. And I'm sure they don't love that. So anyway, you can't tell how fast this thing was moving just by looking at it. But when we zoom out, you can see that it looks like it's moving substantially less quickly. And that's because you're not zoomed in on doing the parallax thing where you're tracking it across a background that is far away. So is this thing moving super fast? We can't tell, but probably not. And you can also see that when the missile comes in, it's moving toward the object, but it's also tracking really fast across the ocean. Almost like that speed is an artifact of the drone's speed rather than the object's speed. So, in my opinion, it's pretty clear this thing isn't actually moving that fast. Right, thing number 2, the missile didn't explode. So now we have to talk very briefly about how a Hellfire missile works, which is that it's designed to shoot things on the ground. Things that are designed to shoot things out of the air oftentimes explode because of proximity, like they have a proximity sensor, or they have like a laser guidance sensor where they will actually go off when they have reached the place that the laser says you have reached the place. That's not how a Hellfire works. A Hellfire missile has a crush sensor. That's how it goes off. When the nose gets crushed, that's when it explodes. And if this thing is, for example, something soft, something not particularly hard, something flimsy, that crushed sensor is simply not going to go off. And so it is not surprising that the Hellfire did not explode. It clearly did not explode. Now, there's also this other thing here that it split the missile, but I don't see what this is. So the idea being pieces of the Hellfire like went off and joined the object. There's no way to tell that. It's either pieces of the object or it's pieces of the missile. And the missile continues to go by at a normal speed, so it seems like the missile is completely intact and now the object no longer is. There's some talk about how this object was completely unharmed, and I'm like, well, that doesn't seem like what happened at all. It seems to have been cut into several pieces, which if you look at the way a Hellfire can sometimes look, that makes sense, that it would be cut into some pieces. Now we have something I haven't seen anyone talk about, but that it bounces off the object. Is there bouncing going on here? What we can watch. There's this frame where the object is moving along, hasn't been hit by a missile yet. This frame where they are now in cahoots. They are in the same physical space in the world. And then this frame where it's flown off to the side. So if the Hellfire was giving a substantial amount of its kinetic energy to this object, it would fly off in the direction of the missile. So it would follow the missile. Like if a semi-truck hits a bicycle, that bicycle's gonna go with the semi-truck. So we can definitely say for sure that not a lot of kinetic energy has been transferred from the missile into the object. You see where I'm...
People who use logic and science, they don't just say, well, I can't explain it, man. I think it's an alien. They do all of the investigation this guy's doing right here. That's maturity. That's honesty. That separates you from the regular sheep.
I'm going with this yet. So now we can talk about the pieces that are flying off of this thing. How did they stay in formation with the object? How do they continue moving in the same direction? Well, we already talked about how this object probably isn't going that fast. And we talked about how a Hellfire missile can blow right through it and not transfer almost any kinetic energy into it. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a balloon. So this is off the coast of Yemen. And I don't know why the people of Yemen would be filling up balloons with helium and putting them into the air. I can think of a lot of different reasons. The US military probably has more ideas than I do. In fact, they may have known that this was a balloon, and they may have intentionally shot it down with the missile because they didn't.
Now, let me tell you what this sounds like. People, they got cameras mounted to balloons. Our military probably thought they're being spied on by Yemen forces. Some kind of naval activity in the area. They got a helium balloon hovering there. It's got a camera on it, in my opinion. And yeah. You know, these things can hover up, be up at a certain height, and they can see very much everything on the ground in detail because the camera is so powerful. I know the Air Force got it, but I don't know about, I think he said Yemen. This was like near Yemen. But if our military shot that balloon down, sound like they got rid of a spy cam, but I'm guessing.
Didn't have any better things around to do it with. I think that it's carrying some kind of communications technology. Maybe it's just like a ham radio rig, whatever. We want to shoot it down because the Houthis are using it for something that we don't want, and so we're going to spend.
But what we really need to talk about is how the military is shooting down helium balloons, but they won't shoot these UAPs down. We really need to talk about how the government is mad that flares is up there. They punishing, they getting on guard about flares in the sky. They're shooting down helium balloons, but they don't want to shoot down the UFOs and UAPs that constantly fly around their bases and are in proximity to their fighter jets. Fighter jets, let that word sink in. Why the fuck you ain't fighting, man? Like, come on. You fighting at helium balloons and flares, but you ain't fighting at the aliens from another planet. We just gonna let them do their thing. They the rock stars. Nah, we don't want to shoot them, Sanchez. We just want to take a picture with them.
Spend $150,000 shooting this thing down. Now, do the Houthis know that the US military was shooting down their balloons with Hellfire missiles? I don't know, but they do now. They do now. Now, it could also be that this is a weather balloon from somewhere else for some other purpose, and weather balloons can stay up in the air for a long time and they can get pushed into weird places accidentally. There are a lot of them in the air at any moment. And the thing is, the Go Fast video, which is another UAP video, was almost certainly also a balloon, and it looks exactly like this one. It is embarrassing to have this be be a national news story when we know exactly what's going on?
What was go fast?
It's a classic case from 2015. It was popularized in 2017. It appears to be close to the surface of the water, and that's what the pilot saw. It looks like that object is just zipping along really quickly near the surface of the water. But after careful analysis of all the numbers on the heads-up display there and doing the geometry and looking at the track of the airplane as it was flying, we were able to assess that the object actually had to be at about 13,000 feet. With the parallax, we can assess that the object is moving actually at wind speed. So we don't know what that object is, but we know that it's moving.
It's called a bird.
It's consistent with a bird or a balloon.
If you've seen that, and then you watch this video, it's like, oh, that's how a balloon would behave if it was hit by a missile. Pieces of it would tear off, it would be blown back by the exhaust, but all those scraps of plastic, because this isn't like, don't imagine you blowing up a balloon. A weather balloon is like a big pile of plastic that is inflated with a bunch of helium. And so you have these scraps of mylar or plastic up in the atmosphere, and you can see them, and they continue to drift in the same direction they were originally drifting in, because the drone is going in the same direction, and that's part of what is making this object look like it's moving. And also it's floating in the wind, whatever the wind is. And the wind, the stuff blowing it around after the initial collision with the Hellfire, doesn't change.
And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
what
again,
flies like that?
Again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information?
Like you can.
Why are we being blocked from it? So that's part of playing into the psyop. I'm not going to question what it is. What I want to know is why it's being blocked. No, we should question what it is. It ain't being blocked if you're able to question what it is. If they was blocking it, we wouldn't even know about it. But them bring it up, why is it being blocked? How the fuck are we talking about it if it's being blocked? People will tell you the government declassified it because it's real. The government had it classified because it's real. If it was real, they would have kept that shit classified, dude. I had a secret clearance in the military. Guess what's above that? Top secret.
See it get hit and then start to tumble, like as if it is a big sheet of.
It appears to be close to the surface of the water, and that's what the pilot saw. It looks like that object is just zipping along really quickly near the surface of the water. But after careful analysis of all the numbers on the heads-up display there and doing the geometry and looking at the track of the airplane as it was flying, we were able to assess that the
because the drone is going in the same direction, and that's going in the same direction that it was before. Because it is. Now, last on my list of things, why are these pieces so identical? Why do they all look so similar after getting torn off the thing? And look, I don't know how.
I'm gonna go to another one now. I think we get the point with that one. It's a lot of them, as we watch all this, keep in mind you got NASA's lead scientists buying into the UFO agenda. So you got the lead scientist at NASA making his rounds on YouTube channels saying that the way this stuff is propelling is non-human. When we just watched a bunch of videos of people showing you the shit is human and it's balloons and shit. But people would think, well, for you to be a lead scientist at NASA, you got to be very smart. Nope, you got to be very deceptive. You got to be very deceptive.
Faked a UFO sighting. I started by screen recording my Ring doorbell, and then here's how I faked a UFO sighting. I started by screen recording my Ring doorbell, and then I went and removed the screen recording icons. After that, I isolated the foreground so I could put UFOs behind the foreground. I then color graded day for night so we could see the lights from the UFO. And after that, I restored the Ring doorbell's icon exposure and then added a fake doorbell light to further sell that it's nighttime. I then added some super janky car headlights and hand animated them instead of tracking each individual car, and then I added a glow. To finish it off, I added ascending orbs and added a glow to it to really sell that it was a distant UFO. Here's how I faked a UFO sighting.
Y'all see this shit? You see this shit? This man faked a viral UFO video with car lights. People be like, well, how would they fake that? Why don't you? See, when people ask that question, they really don't want to know it. They're asking it to say, it can't be faked. Well, how would they fake it then? That's what we should be figuring out. That would be the mature thing to do versus just say, how would they fake it and do nothing by saying they can't fake it? It's so many ways you can fake it, and I'm showing y'all several people that's faking it. It's safe to say that 95% of all the UAP videos are fake. The other 5% is real advanced government technology that they testing.
Here's how I faked a UFO sighting. I started by screen recording my Ring doorbell, and then I went and removed the screen recording icons. After that, I isolated the foreground so I could put UFOs behind the foreground. I then color graded day for night so we could see the lights from the UFO. And after that, I restored the Ring doorbell's icon exposure and then added a fake doorbell light to further sell that it's nighttime. I then added some super janky car headlights and hand animated them instead of tracking each individual car, and then I added a glow. To finish it off, I added ascending orbs and added a glow to it to really sell that it was a distant UFO. Here's how I faked a UFO sighting. I started by...
Oh my God! Now the next video we're about to play is the best fake UFO videos, and meaning best meaning people who fake UFO videos, they judge them based upon virality. So the best people that fake the best videos, they are basically the ones that get people to say, how can this be fake? Is people so good at this stuff? And you don't really gotta be good. People don't want like, you can be an amateur shit. It can have all kind of flaws and people will say, see, it's real. People want to believe in UFOs, so you don't even need to be good at faking it. You can just be decent. Why are a lot of videos about UFOs blurry, grainy, black and white? Because when you're faking stuff, you can hide your technology you use to faking with behind the idea that the machinery that's recording the footage has limitations. So if there's if something is suspended from a string, you won't see the string in a black and white video, and especially if that video is blurred. The better quality that my video is, the more you can see. If I'm hiding something from you, I don't want you to be able to see clearly, right? So I'm trying to let you guys know why in 2026, most UFO footage is blurry, black and white, because it's fake. And when you faking shit, you got to hide behind technological limitations. But the question is, who's shooting in black and white in 2026? People that's faking shit. Who's shooting blurry photos in 2026, especially the government? We got HD footage of the sun in space, they say. You should get no blurry footage in 2026. Cameras that shoot blurry images shouldn't even fucking exist no more. It's 2026. We put niggas' consciousnesses in computers and you still giving me black and white grainy fucking footage from Andy Griffith time? Something ought to click in your head to say something ain't right about this. When you're faking shit, you want it to be blurry. You want the more fucked up the footage is, the more bullshit I can get away with.
Flashing lights and strange objects in the sky are a staple of video sharing sites. You're never far from something mysterious or unexplained, and lots of these clips are pretty convincing. Then there are the others, the ones that are slightly easier to explain. Here, for instance, a college in Singapore has a close encounter with some desktop editing tools. In broad daylight, a cartoon flying saucer comes into land.
Tell me this don't look like a picture that's in the National Archives. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me, look at this shit. Bro, let's compare that fake photo to this. Now look at this. We know that they got Photoshop. It ain't called Photoshop in the 50s. It's just photo editing software. Yes, we know how to manipulate photos manually in the 50s. This video that's showing you this looked like it was shot in the 70s, 80s. This is old. And look, they got the same technology we got. They can make shit be there that ain't there. And look, that about the same quality as this. Same quality. Look at this. You can use the same technology in this video to make this image right here.
Counter with some desktop editing tools. In broad daylight,
boom, pause it. Turn that to a photo. This can be a photo in the archives, and people will be like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, just throw that in there with that. People, it'll be another one in there. People don't think we got the ability to fake this stuff. That the problem is we don't think photo editing skills exist in the 50s, 40s. And they was faking a lot of stuff because people didn't know a lot about photo editing, video editing. It wasn't common knowledge. So a lot of our reality ain't even real. You can't rely on photos and videos to tell you what's real, because the enemy been giving us that since we were babies. And a lot of that stuff have been edited and manipulated. You can't. Now, so in the age we in, you just can't look at photos and videos and say something real. You can't.
cartoon flying saucer comes into land, totally ignoring the keep off the grass signs. Sadly, the video finishes before we meet the occupants, but perhaps they're friendly with this lot. 3 flying saucers this time, hovering in a line right over New York City. This UFO hoaxer has even managed to make the city's skyline look fake. Quite an achievement. See that? Then there are the enthusiasts who aren't quite so computer savvy. These American dudes are going for atmosphere as they capture in spooky sepia some sort of spinning bucket on a string. But it all becomes really unmysterious when the bloke holding the ladder gets a bit bored. The best of the UFO fakers though.
But it just shows you these are amateur ones. I think they use an object that's too human looking and they moved it in a way that's totally in alignment with physics as far as an aircraft or something can move like that. But they gotta think, what my object need to do is something that a plane can't do. And then they will make better videos and they need to use better objects. I will give them an A for hiding the string. I will give them an A for having it blurry and kind of dirty looking so you can hide shit. They get it, but they still amateur. But this just to show y'all, it's a whole communities out there to fake stuff. And most of what we seeing come from these kind of communities. And the government got their own people that fake it as well too. Some of that stuff go viral and the government be claiming that shit. That's ours. We found out. So let's go to another one and show y'all another one. All right. And this one, I'm going to watch it with y'all another day. It's 25 minutes. We ain't going to watch this one today, where they faked one near Area 51. Let's go into this next one, 6 minutes.
The UFO phenomenon has fired our imaginations for 50 years. The very idea of alien beings in spacecrafts from another planet, another galaxy, holds us mesmerized.
We want magic. What flying saucers do, over and above the question of are they real, is that they bring that magic back. We take all the old myths and wonder, wrap them in shiny stainless steel dish-shaped machines.
Most of those who believe haven't actually experienced anything themselves. They buy into UFOs because of a few dozen blurry images. But what are they really seeing? This photo, for example, is one of the most famous in the history of UFOs. Over the years, this shot and another taken moments later have been examined many times. No one has ever found any telltale signs of fakery, no retouching or darkroom funny business. But even if they're real photographs, they're not necessarily photographs of a real UFO. To challenge the seemingly unassailable evidence of UFO photographs, we decided to find out how hard it would be to make our own believable UFO photos. Did we go to Hollywood's special effects experts? Not exactly.
This one.
Meet our crack team of alien spacecraft designers. These youngsters gathered a hodgepodge of things you could find in any home.
The bottom's one of those cake tin thingies.
The kids mixed and matched all the stuff with a little imagination, a glue gun, and some silver paint.
This is a Technicon spacecraft from the planet Technicon.
A short while later, they had UFOs they hoped would pass the toughest scrutiny. Once the paint and glue had dried, we gave the kids bamboo poles, fishing line, and cameras. Next, they took turns tossing and photographing a Cadillac hubcap. That's as sophisticated as we got, but the results were impressive. The children came up with several photos that could easily pass for classic UFO shots.
Come on, man. People, come on now. Y'all know if I put this on my Facebook wall right now, it'll go viral. And if I be like, yo, aliens are here with us, people want to believe it. You can start putting these special, look, bro, look at this one. Come on, man. That's a Cadillac hubcap. Damn, bro.
The kids bamboo poles, fishing line, and cameras. Next, they took turns tossing and photographing a Cadillac hubcap. That's as sophisticated as we got, but the results were impressive. The children came up with several photos that could easily pass for classic UFO shots. We were ready to go public. I mean, you guys have seen photographs and videos of UFOs. I posed as a UFO author and displayed the photos at a shopping mall. This is my new book coming out next month.
This is my first time watching this video, but you know I'm a guest. Most folks ain't gonna question the photos. They just gonna say what I believe or what I don't believe. People don't question their reality anymore. They basically just negotiate it. What I mean by that, they go through it saying, I believe this, nope, I don't believe that. They build the reality with their beliefs based upon what's really real and what they've proven to be real.
The hard evidence. Take a look at these photographs, see what you think. To bolster the photos' authenticity, I invented a story to go with them.
Who took that?
It's the foreman at this construction site. He was taking pictures of the house that they were building, and one of the guys said, "Look at this," and he snapped a couple shots.
How many people saw it?
Six different people. Yes, I mean, it wasn't like anybody's hallucinating or something.
I mean, this looks real.
Looks like some kind of flying saucer of some kind.
They look real, but how can you prove that they are real?
That's the big question. If we wanted our photographs accepted into the annals of UFO mythology, we needed a stamp of approval from experts. Dr. Rand Molnar of the Brooks Institute of Photography is frequently asked to verify alleged UFO photos. When he examines an image, he doesn't decide whether the subject is a real UFO or a tin pie plate. only whether the photo has been manipulated in some way. For instance, Molnar thinks this famous UFO photo looks suspicious.
There appears to be a lot of what I'll call density manipulation in where the item is. That is, it looks like somebody's been in there with some sort of a drawing tool, a pencil, eraser, and I just don't see that kind of activity anyplace else in the scene.
Would the computer be able to spot the tricks we use to fake our photos? First, we showed Dr. Molnar the hubcap shot.
It appears stationary. I don't really see any hint of movement.
But we know this object was moving because we threw it. On this count, the computer has been fooled. Now, here's our prize fake UFO shot. Remember, it's two plastic lids glued together, hanging from a string. Surely we are going to be found out.
No sign of a string still. Nothing to indicate a string, a wire, or anything.
And that's why you can't believe the experts. I keep telling y'all, several UFO experts are authenticating fake-ass photos. Well, my computer software doesn't detect a string anywhere. Well, it doesn't, and the computer wrong. The expert, the computer wrong, the math wrong, none of that can tell you if that shit real. That's what I was telling y'all earlier about the other expert. Think about why I'm able to confidently say what I'm saying. People will say Sanchez full of ego. He talking about the experts like that. People is bullshit. You can't be an expert at something we have not identified. Use your mind. If there's an animal we haven't identified, how you an expert at it? In order for you to be an expert at something, you got to study the thing. In order for you to study it, we have to have been identified it. You got to say, well, look, the gorilla has a different digestive system than other animals. It has this, it has that. You totally identified it if you're an expert. But the fact that I'm an expert at the unknown is like that don't even sound right. No one can be an expert at the shit if none of us know what the hell it is yet. Some shit just common sense where you hear it, you know, okay, this just bullshit. How you an expert? Like that's you can't just respect the title. Think. Because a person will have an authority over you that they ain't warranted to them. We're all equals in this, nigga, because ain't nobody identified this shit yet, so ain't nobody no expert.
Why can't the computer see the string? Because the camera that shot the original picture couldn't see it. Contrary to what you see on TV cop and spy shows, the computer can't detect a detail that the film never captured. No string on the negative, no string on the computer.
It looks a little more realistic in that it has a little bit of roughness to it. The granularity of the film matches the background and the foreground subject both. So it looks a little more real.
It looks real.
How the heck? You ain't no UFO expert. You just a nigga sitting up looking at photos saying, oh, I think this one real, I think that one ain't. Everybody doing that. I hate these folks with these fake ass titles. I'm a UFO expert. How you a expert at some shit we ain't even identified?
But the plain fact is that most UFO photos are of such poor quality that it's impossible to tell if they're fake. But there's something strange about UFOs, something that makes us want to believe. For instance, you'd think the folks at the shopping mall would be relieved to know our photos were a hoax. Instead, they were disappointed.
I told y'all, it's sad, man. It's so sad. If the government came out right now and said, listen, guys, all this UAP stuff turned out to be fake videos, and we fell for it like y'all, people will think, yeah, they all lying to us. We know aliens are real. If I make a fake alien video and people go to saying, all right, it looks real, looks like alien, and I'll be like, guess what? It's fake. People gonna be disappointed. Why? Because we want to be right. See, part of this is egotistical. You've said for years that's aliens. But when the person who created that lie say, I was just fooling you, it's a feeling of disappointment. This is why you should not accept beliefs. You should only accept facts. Because guess what? The truth will never disappoint you. It may hurt to accept at first, but ain't no surprises with the truth, because it's going to stay the same forever. You going to be disappointed because you equated your belief to the truth, and the person that fooled your ass may say, bro, that wasn't an alien. I made that shit. And you built your whole fake reality off it. But I'm the nigga that was controlling your mind with my bullshit. And that's hard for people to accept, that they was fooled. You was bamboozled. And then they ask themselves, why was I able to be fooled? Because I was so desperate to make my belief a fact. No one want to really deal with that. It's your fault. I don't be mad at the people that fooled y'all. You shouldn't be able to get fooled. You should say, look, I believe in aliens, but this ain't proof of it. This is too blurry. It don't prove nothing. But however, I do think that aliens out there. But you're dishonest though. You're a fucked up person because you have a belief and you will desperately accept and scratch and kick for anything to prove it. That's dishonesty. That's the real problem, you and your dishonest ways. Just because you're fanatic about your fucking belief. That right there is what started the Inquisitions. People who so fanatic about their unproven beliefs that they go desperate measures to make it real.
Poor quality that it's impossible to tell if they're fake. But there's something strange about UFOs, something that makes us want to believe. For instance, you'd think the folks at the shopping mall would be relieved to know our photos were a hoax. Instead, they were disappointed.
What would you think if I told you that what you're looking at there is this?
It's gonna be some people that say, I wouldn't believe you. There's no way this is fake. Watch when it's all fake. Because people are stupid. Yes, way there is, the shit can be fake. You know, like.
Wow. I believe there's still life on other planets. I don't care about the pictures though. I still believe there is.
You hear what people say? I still believe aliens are on this planet. I don't care about the pictures. But you're dealing with grown people that will get mad at their kids for believing in an imaginary friend. If your child walked around and said, I believe in these other non-human beings that's among us, Dad, Dad'll be like, son, there's nothing in here. We're alone. Like, what you see is what you get, right? We don't see green people, so why do we still get them motherfuckers? So it's like people will tell you, I believe we're not alone. If they keep it at their little belief, that's cool. But if they try to make other folks believe we ain't alone, that's fucked up. I think you're evil for that. You don't supposed to enforce your beliefs on people. You supposed to prove your beliefs to yourself. And if you disprove your own belief, you go and tell other folks, I believed in aliens, but I couldn't prove it. The moment you believe in aliens and you can prove them, it ain't a belief no more. It's a fact. It's a truth. And you need to share the truth. We don't need you to share your belief because the root word of belief is lie. You sharing your unproven claims, which is a lie. You're a liar. I don't care how you put it. Well, I just believe in aliens. You're a fucking liar. If you go around pushing that shit on people, you got to accept them to believe something that ain't proven. You got to make them believe in lies like your delusional ass. Any claim unproven is essentially a lie. It's a lie. It's an unproven claim. The reason it's a lie is because it's being presented as a proven claim. When it's just a passionate belief system. And it's okay to be passionate about your belief. It ain't okay to push that on other people. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think it's really okay to be passionate about a belief. I think the passion should come in finding the truth. Because if I believe that there's gold under the ground in my backyard, I'm not just going to start a belief system trying to force people to believe that there's gold under my ground. I'm going to get the digging. So you don't never stop at belief, because that ain't a fact. So that's like everybody that tell me ain't no gold under your house. We going to silence them and punish them because they're not a believer. We shouldn't be looking for believers. You should be a prover. If you was a prover, you wouldn't be looking for believers. Because when you prove your shit, nobody got to believe it. They know it's a fact because they can prove it too. But if you can't prove your shit and you forcing it on people, you're doing damage. You're doing damage. That's how these religions get started. Shout out to the chat room, man.
I still believe in UFOs. I still believe in them.
I still believe they're out there.
You do?
Never
You
know.
still believe?
Yeah, I do.
And that's where humans have we have minds, but we don't use them anymore. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. No human should have any conclusive belief. Beliefs aren't things you conclude on. That'll be like me say, I believe 2 + 2 is 10. Prove it wrong. And if I prove you wrong, well, I still believe it's 10. That's how they doing with aliens. The evidence support that what we think is aliens is not. But even in the face of that evidence, we will hold on to the belief. Guess what, y'all? Evidence supposed to debunk beliefs or prove beliefs as a fact. The evidence should do one or two things to your belief. It should eliminate your belief, or it should transform your belief into a fact now, because the evidence support your belief. And when there's enough evidence to support a belief, we don't call it a belief. We say, hey, we no longer believe that there's gold in Sanchez's backyard. We just found it. We know it's there now. So belief is not the end goal. But people will just spend the rest of their life ended on, I believe in unicorns. I believe in aliens. I believe in Sasquatch. I believe in mermaids. The weird psychology to beliefs is you're creating a reality that you live in that is not the real world outside. In your world, unicorns exist. In your world, mermaids in the ocean. But in the real world, it's not there. You don't live in the real world. You're essentially out of your fucking mind. You created a false reality, one based on beliefs and not what's real. That's the dangers of how we treat beliefs today. We accept them. We say, do you believe it or not? That ain't the way you approach beliefs. Can you prove it or not is what we should say. But today's world says, do you accept this belief or don't you? And if you accept it, you one of us. And if you don't, fuck you, you one of them. That ain't learning. That ain't investigating. That's cults. That's a world full of cults that's recruiting into their different beliefs. The rational mind gets approached with every ideology, and it don't say, which one do I believe? It says, which one can I prove? Peace and love to everybody. We can't prove aliens, even though it's your passionate belief. And I would recommend to you, quit concluding on beliefs. conclude on facts. That's right. If we valued the truth as much as we valued our little bitty beliefs, the world will be better. If people value their beliefs over the truth because beliefs are more interesting than the truth, right? If I tell you, man, that was just a plastic plate on a stick, man, but that's the truth, but it's boring. If I say, man, that looked like some shit from another world, now that's a news story. See, the lie is more entertaining. I'll admit that. The truth is boring as hell. We all can know that. Not only is the truth boring, it hurts too. There's literally no incentive to even accept the truth unless you just want to be free. But if you want to feel good and you want to, then you might as well accept the lie. This truth gonna hurt your ass, and it's boring too. You gonna repeat the same shit every day. 2 + 2 is 4. Well, what about next year? It's still 4, Sanchez. Well, what about 100 years later? 2 + 2 still 4. That's boring. People like shit to change, but the truth don't. That's why they accept the lie, because it's more entertaining. It's more, the belief is more flashier. Peace and much love, y'all. We out of here, man. Shout out to the people who supported the show. We didn't reach the goal, but we want to thank you for helping us anyway. And if you're watching this on a replay and you getting some value out of this, you feeling the passion, you rocking with the content, you can send us a donation on a replay to the Cash App, even though the super chat is not available. And I think there's a thanks button on these for the replay too. But we always have the Cash App is $BROSANCHEZTV. I respond to the Cash Apps. Send me a message, send a Cash App if you want to support that way. Peace and much love. See y'all on the next